What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 7 for Tuesday, April 12th. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Mike C, and joining me, my co-host, my second in command, my true love, the Birdman himself, Logan B. What's up, man?
Oh, true love. It's gonna be a week, it's been a pretty exciting week. We have a big topic to talk about today on the podcast. A little thing of Lego Star Wars. And I've been doing some other things this week. Maybe seen a movie that I didn't really expect to go see. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, well, I'm hoping it's the same movie that I went to go see. It's the same movie I said I was gonna go see last week, and I did go see it. So I'm excited to talk about that. Other than that, nothing really exciting happened this week. I'm still fighting with my landlord to get the water main leak fixed from my front yard. Yeah, I'm still working on that. It's been leaking.
Jeez.
It's been leaking since February, so that's fun. That's a fun
Wow.
time. So that's all. That's awesome. But I actually had a visitor from the Shelby County. Shelby County is where I live. The inspector, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring him up in court." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Dang.
So I was
All
like,
right.
I didn't do anything. I didn't even complain to him. My neighbors complained about it. So
Dang. Well,
real
at least
quick,
you.
before we go to the question, I was reading up on, I was just doing some reading, just generally. I got on some World War One stuff, this week, and I wanted to tell you this condensed story real quick.
Okay.
So there's this British soldier by, hold on, I forgot his name. Oh yeah, Henry Tandy. Have you ever heard the story of Henry Tandy?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, so he is one of the most decorated British soldiers of all time in terms of awards and all that. And he fought in World War One. And his story goes, and this has been corroborated by multiple people because I checked the source. One night he was sitting in the trench, and through coming through the smoke, he saw a figure walking towards him. So he comes at attention, and at this point he can't tell whether it's the enemy, whether it's a fellow soldier coming back. So he just gets his rifle ready and he brings it up, and then after a little bit of walking, the moonlight comes out and shines on him, and they can see each other. And they make eye contact, and you can tell that it is a German soldier. So they stand there. Well, one's sitting, I guess. The other one's standing, and he's injured. Tandy can tell he's like kind of he's struggling to walk, and clearly he's lost. So he has his gun drawn, he's pointing at him, and they make eye contact, and they stay there for a little while looking at each other. And then finally Tandy makes a decision. He looks to his left, looks to his right, makes sure no one sees, and then he puts his gun down. And the two soldiers kind of look at each other, they nod their head, and the German soldier turns around and goes back to goes back to his trench. Well, it turns out that German soldier was Adolf Hitler.
Oh, I did hear about this story. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
that
that.
shit's
Yeah,
crazy,
literally,
dude.
literally, all it would have taken was him to kill him. And yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it probably still would have happened. But yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
do remember hearing that
it's
story.
one of those
That's
catch-22s because, like, technically he does, like, the good human thing by letting this injured soldier go and just go back to his home and his family and all that. He does the good human thing. But in doing the good human thing, the thing we all strive to do, being a good person, he sets in motion the events that would lead forward. That's crazy, man.
didn't Adolf Hitler before all of World War II, before the whole Nazi thing, didn't he like go and find him? I could have sworn that was a story where he went to go find that British soldier and like thanked him.
I'd have to double
I
check on all that.
I
I
thought
I,
that
I
was a
don't.
story, but I'm not sure about
I
that.
don't know about all that. I read that and I was like, well, let me double check the sources here because I was like, man, that sounds far fetched. And apparently, like, maybe did go and say something, but the way that I found out is that both that people just connected the stories over time, his story and Hitler's story about what happened, and they connected the stories. That's how they know it was him.
Huh. That's crazy.
Yeah, really cool. Anyway, So, before we get heavily into the episode, we always like to start the episodes with a couple questions. I have two questions, and since this is Lego Star Wars Day, pretty much they are both going to be Star Wars related. So, first one is a would you rather? Well, I guess they're technically both would you rather. Would you rather be trapped on an island or in a spaceship with Darth Vader or Jar Jar Binks?
I feel like this is pretty easy. Darth Vader for sure.
What
Jar Jar
if
Binks.
what if you're Darth Vader's enemy?
Ooh, I would still rather be Darth Vader because Jar Jar Binks is super annoying and he doesn't know how to shut up. I mean,
But
I'd much what?
who do you think has better survival skills if you are trapped on an island, Darth Vader or Jar Jar Binks? Because I'm saying Jar Jar Binks I'll probably survive with him. With Darth Vader, I ain't surviving.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, especially if it's a sandy beach. Yeah, that's not gonna be
Oh
a good
God.
time.
Uh.
But
Yeah, Darth
I
Vader
guess you're
just.
right on that. Jar Jar Binks would probably have more. Well, I don't know. The thing is, Jar Jar is so clumsy, though. Like, yeah, he may have the survival skills in a sense in his head, but him actually doing something about it, I don't know about that. He's too clumsy, and I mean, I guess he's really lucky too at the same time. So maybe you can look at the fact that maybe he'll get lucky and maybe he'll be able to create something, or you'll be able to survive because of his luckiness. But it really would suck having to hear him talk a lot, being
Yeah.
trapped on an island with him.
I,
So I
I
guess I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here thinking, and I can't get the image out of my head. Just a moody ass Darth Vader just sitting on the beach like I hate sand. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That's great, dude. He's just
He
sitting over
does the
there.
iconic scene, no, because he's stuck on an island with
Uh,
sand.
God, that
Uh,
iconic scene is iconic for all the wrong reasons.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Jar Jar Binks because I feel like I have the best chance to survive. Also, I don't think Darth Vader needs to eat. Have we ever seen Darth Vader eat? Have we ever seen
Yeah, that's
anyone in the
true.
Star Wars universe eat? Now that I think about it. Oh yeah,
Uh,
there's the katana scenes. Katana
we've
scenes.
seen people drink blue milk. I know
Ew.
that for a fact.
Isn't it green?
No, I'm pretty sure it's blue.
I thought it was
That's the
green.
iconic. That's the
Yeah.
iconic blue
Mm.
milk from Luke.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. I'm pretty sure it's green.
No, it's blue. Trust me.
All right.
Pretty sure it is.
Well,
But yeah,
last.
no, I would probably switch my answer to Jar Jar Binks, especially if you're gonna say that Darth Vader is gonna be your enemy.
Oh, it's
Rather not be stuck.
100%. It's 100% green, dude.
What do you mean? Even in Lego Star Wars, they make jokes about blue milk.
Well, I don't know why, because look at the
Yeah,
image.
because they even have literally a figure out, and they call it Blue Milk Luke. They actually sell that blue milk at Disney too, which is funny.
Okay, well, maybe this is a fan edit.
Yeah, yeah, it's blue milk. It does look green though. Now that you like when I'm looking at the picture, like it kind of looks like a mix between green and blue. It's like a turquoise milk, but they call it blue. So I guess it's mainly blue milk.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's dumb, because it's definitely green.
Yeah.
It is 100% green. I'm sitting here watching the scene, and it is 100% green. I don't know why they call it blue milk.
You know, a quick thing, did you know that in C3PO's calf, one of his legs is silver?
What do you mean?
Like one of his like in the calf region of one of his legs, it's silver. One part of his body is silver, and it's always been silver.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
I didn't know that either the other day. Like I literally like Amy, my wife, tried to show me this, and I just did not believe her. I'm like, no, his body's fully gold. Like, what do you mean? Like you never, but I didn't notice it. Even in if you play Lego Star Wars, you'll even see that literally they put that detail in there. You could see that they put one of his leg like calf area is silver, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Hmm. I have to watch the movies again. See, this is part of that, like, whenever you find out something new about Harry Potter, like whatever Rowling wrote on Twitter last, it's like, I don't believe that. I have to go back and double check. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely green milk. I'm sorry, Disney. I don't know why you call it blue milk. Like, what? I don't just watch the YouTube video. It's 100% green. There was
Well,
no.
Disney,
It might be
Disney,
blue
and
green.
Lego Star Wars want to call it blue milk, but I do agree now after looking at the photo again. It looks more like turquoise.
Yeah,
It's
and then
more on the green side than it is on the blue side,
yeah,
but that's
just pull up a YouTube video of the scene real quick. Just type in Luke milk scene. It pops right up, and it's 100% green milk. Don't know why you would ever want to
unless they're
watch that
talking
scene.
about A New Hope. I don't know if they in New Hope they drink blue milk.
No, we should know this. How many times have we seen New Hope?
Dude, I don't know, man. There's that effect where the Mandela effect where we may not be, we might be believing one thing over the other.
All right.
Let's see.
Okay, so final answer for me is Jar Jar Binks. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we got off the milk train, but all right. The second question. This is just a little fun one. Which royal, excuse me, would you rather spend an afternoon with? Padme Amidala or Leia Organa? This one's easy for me, but I'll let you answer first.
Oh, Padme for sure.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Leia, you're
I mean,
great and all that.
Leia's, hot, but I mean, Padme
Leia's
on a whole nother level.
Leia was attractive, yes, but man,
Yeah,
you got the Attack of the Clones, the
exactly.
that scene,
Yeah, that scene. Yeah.
Try not to be a creeper, but maybe I am. I don't know.
Oh
But
yeah, I
anyway,
forgot. I don't know how old she was. Never mind. Well, nowadays she is, so she's still
oh
attractive. So she's old
no,
now. So
no, she's perfectly of age, I believe.
yeah.
Well, Star Wars just took on a whole nother level. So that was it. Nothing more to say.
No, not really.
Also,
I think it's pretty obvious.
yeah, if I want to get a little deeper in it, like Leia's cool, but I would honestly I think Padme has more interesting things to say because Leia's just like the daughter of an important person, where Padme's actually an important person. Like she was, you know,
Yeah, she was the
yeah, she was the queen,
queen.
and then
Yeah.
she was a senator, and like whether I don't really like politics and all that, but I'm guessing there can be some interesting conversations to be had there. Where Leia's just like, I don't know, I got raised rich, so, and then eventually she became.
I mean, she
a
did kind
fighter.
of become a Jedi in a sense, but
Okay, another question: when are we talking to these people? Because if we're talking to old ass Leia, then the answer
then
even
definitely
becomes
no.
yeah, the answer
Yeah,
becomes easier. But it also
obviously.
would be more interesting conversation
Well,
because
they did have the young version of Leia still training from um the
comics.
the last Skywalker, or not the last Skywalker.
The
Why
Rise of
can't it Rise
Skywalker.
of Skywalker? Wow,
Yeah,
that's sad. I don't even remember the title of the movie.
but she wasn't in it. She wasn't like shown training in that.
Yeah, she did. It's not a super long scene, but it's a scene of both Luke and her running and training together.
Oh yeah, the running through a forest.
Yeah,
That's the training montage.
yeah, and it shows her as a young
God,
Leia.
I hate that movie so much. God, I fucking hate it. It sucks so
After
much.
rewatching again, obviously it isn't my favorite movie, but I still enjoyed it. Surprisingly, don't know how.
I hate
There's a
it.
lot of things that aren't right with it, but if I had to say what was the worst of the sequels, obviously I'm gonna say, um, what is it? Wow, I can't even remember the movie
The
name. I
Last
keep
Jedi.
forgetting these movies. The Last Jedi. That's sad. I can't remember any of almost the sequel other than A Force Awakens because Force Awakens was actually really good.
We need to
But
sit
no,
down. We need to record a Star Wars episode where we just talk about the movies. We're gonna do that. So we're
yeah,
gonna move
I'm down
on.
for that.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where two, sometimes more, dudes sit down and talk about things with you. I messed that up. We're gonna move on. We post a new episode each and every Tuesday, so you can listen to it throughout your work week. You can find us on most of your popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more coming. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please support us on a Patreon where you can be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything you don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. And an update on that, I realized that either I was messing up or Patreon was messing up, and you couldn't get the episodes without subscribing to our Patreon. I fixed that this week. Now you can. You can go on there, get all of our episodes you want for free, and the only thing that you need to is if you want to be a deeper part of the show, then you can go ahead, send us some money, and be a part of that and get the exclusive episodes. We want to thank our Patreon Platinum members. Still Logan Leffler, still appreciate it. If for some reason you want to see our shining faces in HD, sorry, still haven't got that fixed, Logan. But you can still go over to our YouTube channel where you can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. With all that out of the way, let's get into the show this week. This week in the news, we talk about the new Tomb Raider game that got announced. Max Payne remakes are also coming, and the BAFTAs were this week. Who were the big winners? Then in our point of the show, we'll give you our week 1 impressions for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. But before we get to all that, it's time for What You've Been Doing, where we catch up on all the things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, and or comics. It doesn't matter to us, because we're all nerds and we enjoy it. So with that being said, taking LEGO Star Wars out of the equation for right now, because we're talking about it later in the show, Logan, what you been doing, my man?
Well, obviously, I'm just going to say that I've been playing Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. I'll keep my opinion for later. And then I guess to cut after that because we're going to have a huge topic on that later. I played a little bit more Elden Ring as well this week. I put like another 5 hours. I'm definitely reaching another very excessively hard area where like everywhere I go I'm getting demolished. I tried to make a whole new build to my character. I wasted an insane amount of runes, and then I ended up just completely scrapping the build and going back to what I've been doing. Um, didn't really work out in my favor, but I am thinking about respecking my character, and because I finally defeated the boss where you can respec your character, so I'm thinking about respecting my character and doing something different or more going deeper into what build I want to be. So we'll see. I'm still trying to figure out what build I want to be. I don't really want to be a pure strength and endurance build. I more want to be like a faith, strength, and endurance build because I want faith to be pretty high so I can use incantations like the dragon head and lightning bolt, which I have right now, and I've been kind of wanting to level that up a lot so we can have those to be stronger. So those could be my long range and area of effect attacks, and then my strength and endurance will be up close damage, which is what I want to do. So we'll see. I've been really enjoying it though. I stepped a little bit closer towards what I would hope is closer to the end. I'm getting there. It's definitely getting really hard right now, but I'm still really enjoying it. But I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about on that because again, I put most of the time this week into Lego Star Wars. Um, so I guess let's talk about what movie I watched. Um, I watched Uncharted yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Not what I expect you to
yeah,
say.
yeah, I know. That's what I meant. That I didn't expect to actually go see that movie. But my
So
wife was gonna want to go see Jujutsu Kaisen, but that movie was only they only have like very, very like they have like the worst movie times for that movie.
that's
It's like 10:20 p.m.
that
And I'm
sounds
like, are you
like
serious right
that
now?
sounds like something Amy would want to go watch.
Yeah, well, and she watches movies I don't want to watch, or that she doesn't really want to watch with me. So I feel like it's fair that I go watch this because I mean I don't know anything about Jujutsu Kaisen, but I would have wanted to go see it anyways. Um,
So anyway, give
but
me your very quick impressions because I still have not seen Uncharted. We were going to watch it yesterday after we watched our first movie, but I was hungry, so we left the mall. But
so my opinion, and this is I think a good take on it in my opinion. I think it is a good treasure hunter movie. I think it is very good at that. Do I think it's a good Uncharted movie? No. I really don't think so. Um,
Really, that is the opposite of what I've heard
they
from everybody.
it is they changed the characters so freaking much. Like so much compared to the games. And it's almost like they're unrecognizable at that point. Like, I would say Drake is probably the most same. Like, he's probably the closest to the actual video game character on the way that he acts and stuff, but there's still things that he does that's not like it. And the story isn't it's definitely its own thing. It does not really connect with the games whatsoever. Like, it has characters and some, Easter egg scenes that connect, but it's not like connecting to any of the games. Like, it isn't the first game, it isn't the second game. It's almost like
Well, no, if I
it's
remember right, it's meant to be a prequel to the actual video game series.
see, that's the thing though. It definitely again does not connect with the story because the fact that how he meets Sully is completely different than the video game. The way Sully acts in this entire movie is almost completely different than how he acts in the games. Um, Chloe doesn't even act like she does in the video games. Um, and yeah, I mean, I just think, in my opinion, it's not really a good Uncharted movie. I think it is a very, very good, or not very, very good. I think it is a good treasure movie. I found it I liked it. I was interested most of the time, but especially at the end, I feel like it really started to just like speed up. Like, it was really good. I was really getting good for like the first half or so. And then in the last like 20 minutes of the movie, it just like speed run the entire rest of the whole thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I felt like the ending was very rushed compared to like the very middle part because like it was really getting good. Like, I was really interested. I was like, okay, how is this all going to connect? And then at the end, it's just kind of like, hey, here's the treasure. Okay. And then that's it. Like, it was just like, oh, all right. So yeah, I just again, I think honestly, if they just made this a treasure movie, they changed everybody's names up, it would probably be just its own good treasure movie. I don't think they really need to put Uncharted on it, other than the fact that they have the names of the characters. That's it. I really think it's a good treasure movie, though.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you go into it expecting a good treasure hunting movie, definitely really good. But
Well, I
if you
mean,
go into it expecting Uncharted, no, not
see,
really.
that's actually different than most of the things I've heard. I've heard most people say that if you're a fan of the games, you're gonna like this because, and if you're, it's like, it is a good video game movie, but a not great actual movie. So
Like, it's good. It's
that's a
good
complete
in the
opposite
fact
from
that it
what I've
has
heard.
Easter eggs. It has a ton of Easter eggs from the video game. So yeah, if you play the video games, you're gonna like it for that reason. But it's not really a good like story that connects to the Uncharted series. It's literally just like its own story, but it definitely does not connect with the games whatsoever. And the Easter eggs are really cool.
Well, I didn't
Like, I
expect
like the
it
bunch
to
of
connect to
Easter
the
eggs.
games. I
Well, I know,
expected
but
it
I
to
mean,
be its
like,
own
that's what
thing.
I mean by that. Like, it's not it's again, I don't think it's a good Uncharted movie. I think it's really good with the Easter eggs and stuff, but they honestly could take all those Easter eggs out, put the exact same story, and then just call a whole different thing, change the characters' names, and it would literally be just a really good treasure movie. Like, I really don't it didn't really do anything like the Uncharted games did for me. Like, I don't think the whole ending with the treasure, the whole meaning behind it, the whole everything, like, I just felt like it was lackluster compared to what a Uncharted game is. Like, I'm not expecting it to be Uncharted game level, but I was expecting, it to be different than most treasure hunting movies, but in reality, it was just the same. And that's where I really think it's a good treasure hunting movie. Like, I liked it. I liked the adventure. I liked the twists and cuts and betrayals and etc. But I don't really think it was like, oh, hey, this is Nathan Drake. And more, I was just like, oh, this is a treasure hunter. Like, it just doesn't really do the same thing that a Uncharted game does. Like, there's no bigger meaning, there's no supernatural meaning behind the treasure, there's no none of that. It's just bam, 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 get treasure, done. It's like, okay, that's It was okay. I mean, the scenes were cool. It had a
Okay.
really epic scenes that were really good, like really well done. And that's why I say it's a good treasure movie. It's really good. But I guess other than that, um the only things I really watched this week is I've been watching more Cowboy Bebop. Really loving it.
The
Made
actual
it
anime.
farther. Yeah, the actual
Cool.
anime. I
Cool.
already
Cool.
watched the live action.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah, it's
been
fantastic.
watching it with my wife. Loving it. Super good. We're pretty close to the end. I'm kind of sad.
Oh, Amy's finally watching
Um,
it.
yeah, I was kind of waiting for her to start watching it, so I was gonna watch it with her.
I've been,
So
you know,
it's
I'm,
been
I'm
really good.
trying to get her to watch it for 5 years now. So
She's been really enjoying it. First, she was kind of being a hater at the in the first like 2 episodes, but she started
how?
to really get into it.
How do you
Well,
hate
she was like, "Oh, I don't understand. They're not explaining anything." I'm like, "But that's the whole point. They're gonna explain it throughout the show. Like you gotta keep watching." She's like, "Well, it didn't explain much the first episode." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's an intro episode. It's just introductory to the world. Some of the characters. They're not gonna tell you their complete backstory within the first episode." So, but she's been watching more of it, and now a lot. And I've been really loving it too, like a lot, a lot. It's been really good. Um, I've been doing that, and then yesterday I stayed up till 2 this morning, hanging out at a friend's house. We've been watching Haunted at Bly Manor on Netflix. Um, it's not really scary, but it's interesting. I don't really think it's that scary of a show, just like the other Haunting on Hill House. Haunting on Hill House is more scary than this show is. The show just kind of was like it's more just like trying to make you get goosebumps, but not really give you the real scare factor of like actually making things scary. Like one scene, for example, which actually made me laugh, is literally they were like playing hide and seek, and this little girl was humming a song, and then this thing in the background started to pop up, but was also doing the same tune that she was, the little girl. And the little girl just turns around and goes, shh, and then she just shuts up. The demon just lays back down. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, dang, that was savage. You just told that demon to shut up, and then it just did. It's like, okay, well, I don't think I'm supposed to laugh at this, but I thought it was really funny. I was like, okay, tell that demon to shut up. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've done this week. It's just I watched those, watched Uncharted, and played some Lego Star Wars and that. What about you, Mike?
So, also played Lego Star Wars. How long have you played for it, by the way? I'm 16 hours in.
35, no, almost, yeah, 35 hours.
Holy shit! In 1 week?
Yep.
Good God.
I was a little addicted to it.
Oh, man. Okay, well, clearly you like it more than I do, so we'll find out, I guess. So, but played some more Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Um, that game's so cool. I mean, it does a good job of exactly what it's supposed to do. Is it makes exploration pay off in a way that's gratifying, and like, just if you go out and you find a cool area of a map and like that. And it's not even an open world game. It's a single player game. It's hub area, I guess I would say. It's got hub areas, but so I am also 14 hours into that. So 14 hours in the Shadow, 16 hours into Skywalker Saga. And then yesterday, like I said I was going to, I went and saw Sonic 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Really? So what'd you think?
I really liked it a lot.
Yay. I'm excited because
I mean,
I really wanted to go see that movie.
I liked the first one, and this one is, I don't know if it's as good. I mean, but I think it's still good. It's still enjoyable. We're talking about, oh, awkward
I'm
moment.
sorry.
No, you're
Didn't
good.
mean to do that to you.
My
I didn't
phone.
know my weather thing was gonna go crazy and go off
No,
like that.
that's fine.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, I mean, I would give, honestly, I would score both the movies like in the 3.5 range, 3.5 out of 5. They're very good, enjoyable movies. And that's what they are. And good news is the movie seems to be successful. It opened really well on Thursday and Friday. I was just looking while you were talking at box office, and no updates yet for Saturday, but it looks to be another success. And Paramount's already announced that they've greenlit a third one, which is great because there's an end credit scene in this one that teases a character that we all, well, I guess the people who played Sonic, I don't want to say we all, but because I don't know if you've ever played a Sonic game before or not, but
I have not played one in years, but I
okay.
did play one on the Genesis actually.
Yeah, I
So
I played all the old ones: Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, um, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2. I even played Shadow the Hedgehog, and then I even played the 2006 Sonic, which was awful, which almost killed the franchise. Then I played Sonic Heroes when it came out a couple years ago. Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania was great. So I don't know if we ever really talked about it because it's just something that I play like when things come out. But like I actually do really enjoy Sonic and the story behind some of the characters. If you read up on some of the lore and everything, it's actually really interesting. And this movie franchise seems to really be taking on the Sonic Adventure storylines. So if you know anything about the Sonic Adventure games, you kind of know a little bit of what the characters are like in this movie, and especially what some of the scenes are like in this movie. But overall, just really fun. I know a lot of people complain because it was like 30 minutes longer than the original one. It's an over 2 hour movie. What's 2 hours and 2 minutes? So, but I didn't really feel that 2 hours. I thought it went by at a brisk pace. It had only one fake out ending where like some big stuff happened, and then I realized I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't even seen that scene from the trailer yet. So we still got another 30 minutes to go in this movie. So, but I said I didn't really feel the length. I know some people have said they feel that the 2 hour runtime. I did not. I thought it went by at a brisk pace, and they kept things moving. They kept the story coming, and the development was always there. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It's a fun time. I'd recommend going to see it on a sales day in the movie theaters because it said Peyton and I spent a total of $16, so we got a good deal on it. Then last night I watched Armageddon. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Armageddon, the Michael Bay movie from '98. Showed Peyton it; she had never seen it, so
I don't think that
it's
sounds
a good one.
familiar.
I give Michael Bay a lot of shit, but that's mostly on his more modern day stuff. Even though I am hearing great things about Ambulance, it's just getting
Yes, I wanted to go see that movie
it
actually.
bombed hard at the box office in its first. Sonic crushed it, but I am hearing good things. A lot of people say it's maybe Michael Bay's best modern movie. I would have to throw 13 Hours in there, but really, I just don't like the Transformers movies, especially most of the sequel ones. And I just think they're overproduced, over embellished, overshot, overdone in every regard there possibly is. But some of Michael Bay's earlier stuff's pretty good. What's your favorite Michael Bay movie? Mine is
Well, I
13
think
Hours.
you
So
obviously know that
yeah,
one.
yeah, 13 Hours. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
love
movie is
13 Hours.
phenomenal.
I watch it all the time, dude. It's so.
Honestly, if you never would have told Michael Bay movie,
Oh, I can clearly tell it's a Michael Bay movie. There's the rotating camera with the upward angle. There's all kinds of Michael Bay-isms in the movie. Like they're everywhere to be seen. But I can 100% tell. But the storytelling and the character development is actually done in a way that it doesn't seem like Michael Bay.
yeah,
But
it was. I love that movie. That
yeah,
movie's so good.
from the visual style and the camera movement and all that other stuff, yeah, I can tell it's clearly a Michael Bay movie. But from the story and everything, it feels more developed than a Michael Bay movie, which I guess is kind of talking shit on him. But
Yeah,
what do I know? He's one of the most successful filmmakers in modern movie history. So what do I know about anything? Got anything else for us?
nope, that's it.
Oh, I'm still watching One Tree Hill. So, dude, so I was looking on HBO last night. I was actually looking for a movie to watch, and I realized that Chuck is now on HBO Max. Have you ever seen the show Chuck? It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
No.
Chuck is. I know you don't like Well, I mean, this show is more of like a spy thriller, action comedy, romantic comedy. It's a combination of all the things. And I know I say the words romantic comedy and you fucking run 3 miles away, but
Yeah.
it is. It's one of my favorite shows of all time because it focuses so much on geek life and nerdisms and all these other things, set in like this really cool spy world type thing. I don't know. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. Uh, it's only 5 seasons, so if you ever did want to watch, I know Amy doesn't watch live action shows anymore, but if it comes to, I guess you don't have HBO Max, so there's not really a way. Anyway,
Yeah.
you should watch it. It's really, really
I
good.
have definitely heard of this. Like I know I've seen it. I literally looked it up and I'm like, yeah, I've seen this before. Never watched the show,
It's so
but I
good,
remember
man.
seeing it everywhere when I was younger. So yeah,
Yeah,
I want to watch it.
the characters work in essentially a Best Buy. Obviously, it's not a Best Buy because they can't do that. It's the Buy More is what they call it, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's clearly inspired out of Best Buy. They work in um, the Geek Squad, also, even though it's called the Nerd Herders.
Okay.
It's so good, dude. All of it's so good, and it's they got a bunch of cool spy tech stuff. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. That was what you've been doing, where we go through everything that we've been doing throughout the week. Moving in now, we're going to go to Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you some of the news that we want to talk about. If there's anything that we don't talk about, please go to our Patreon, give us $1, talk to us anything you want. We want to hear from you. Without our first story is something that we talked about last week, or I know I talked about last week, and now there's a new rumor that came out this week. Oh, excuse me. A new Naughty Dog rumor suggests that not only is Naughty Dog working on a new IP, working on The Last of Us Part 3, they are also finishing up factions, and we got some new info about that, and some of it runs along what you were talking about, what you want to see from this. So the leaker goes just like this. It's planned as a battle royale game, but got completely rebooted. So you remember I talked about it. The idea was to be a battle royale game, but apparently now
Yeah.
that's scrapped. So described as a mix of Tarkov and The Division with additional modes inspired by the original factions multiplayer, single player like experience in an online game. Obviously free to play, we knew that was coming. First on PC with future releases. Sorry, first on PS5 with future release on PC. Also got some new information. I guess leak. None of this is corroborated in any way, so take it with a grain of salt. The new Naughty Dog IP that we know they've been working on is within a fantasy setting. It's a single player game that is currently in full-fledged production. And then also we know that a couple weeks ago we learned that the official outline for The Last of Us Part 3 script has been completed, but the studio is busy working on the other things. So top this on top of The Last of Us remake that we know is in development. Theoretically, it's pretty close to being done at this point. You would have to think so. So we get, it looks like the order, Last of Us remake and factions probably around the time that the show comes out. Then their new IP, which I'm very excited for to see what Naughty Dog can do with a fantasy setting, if that is true. Then Last of Us Part 3 in 5 to 6 years. What do you think about that timeline?
I think that makes sense. I wouldn't think their next game would be in our Last of Us. I think it'd be something in the middle. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh no, yeah,
I'm
no.
really excited.
We've known that they're working on a new IP, a new Naughty Dog IP for the PS5. This
Yeah.
leak suggests that it's in a fantasy setting, so we know that that's really the next game. Obviously, they got settled last year with the Last of Us remake after it got pulled from the studio in San Diego. And then we known they've been working on factions for a long time. So, the Last of Us remake really isn't their game. They got asked to finish it after apparently it wasn't going well, which I don't know how you screw that up.
Yeah.
Make it look better. Like,
I'm really curious if they actually are going to be putting it in the new engine or if they're just I don't know. We'll
it's
see.
Naughty Dog, of course they are.
But this freaking mode, if they do a Tarkov thing, oh,
Yeah,
I am very, very excited.
faction seems like it's cool. Yeah,
I hope
faction seems
they
like it's
do
gonna be
end
a
up
big
doing
thing.
that because literally that is like the perfect idea. Escape from Tarkov idea. Like, dude, I can imagine it. Like, I would love that. That'd be super cool.
What do you think
So
about the free to play? Like, obviously, people roll their eyes and cringe at that, but
I think it makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I have a lot of trust in Naughty Dog as a studio. So obviously, if we're gonna talk about them here in a little bit. If Ubisoft was announcing this, I'd have a different reaction to it. But the fact that I have trust in Naughty Dog to just make things fair, um, again, I have trust until people break it. I had trust in Cyberpunk and sorry, in CD Projekt, and now that's broken. So, um,
My only thing that I hope is they don't like I who knows at this point, not gonna lie, their first not free to play game with microtransaction heavy T7 isn't doing too great. So I'm hoping that they don't go down that road. Like obviously I think with they're gonna add microtransactions. That's just it's gonna happen. It's free to play.
well, yeah,
And
they have
for
to have it.
people if people get mad about that, well, it's a free to play game. It's just what it is. But I hope it's not like, like I don't know, like you can buy a certain weapon for your Escape from Tarkov thing with this money. Like I no, that's
Yeah,
I hope they don't go down that route. I hope it's more like
like hey,
either
for
cosmetics or like how Escape from Tarkov the actual game does it. You can buy more. So like how Escape from Tarkov does it. You know how like Resident Evil 4 they have that grid layout where you can put your guns and stuff.
oh yeah, the cache,
Basically, yeah, with
greatest inventory system ever made.
well, that's how Escape
I
from
love it.
Tarkov does it. Escape from Tarkov, you can so you get the game, but then as a microtransaction to pay for extra, you could buy extra backpack space, which means it gives you more and more space to put your inventory, and it's done like in a grid layout, like in a sense, kind of like how Resident Evil 4 is done. So I hope they go down that route. Like that makes sense as a free to play thing, especially if they are going to be going heavily towards this Escape from Tarkov thing. They could sell more backpack space. Hopefully, they give you a good amount at the beginning. I don't know again how they're going to do this. I don't know if they're even what kind of thing they're going to do since it says it's a mix between Tarkov and Division. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. But yeah, they could sell like backpack space. They could sell cosmetics. I guess if people want emotes, they could probably sell emotes
Oh,
too.
there's gotta be emotes in there,
Um,
yeah. Duh.
I guess weapon skins too, stuff like that. But
Yeah,
as long as it's not like, hey, you want this gun early, or
yeah,
you want to buy scraps to
like
build stuff early, that's dumb. I hope they
yeah,
don't do that.
like
But
you
we'll
start
see.
off with this automatic weapon. Like we don't want that, but yeah, keep it to skins, weapon skins, cosmetics, and um, like you said, anything else. Also, I mean, this is just a leak. None of it is confirmed or anything like that. Although I suspect we're gonna find out about it within the next couple months. Like Sony's going to have a big summer showcase, and Naughty Dog has not been anywhere near the last two that they've done. So this is going on to, I mean, we're about to learn what the third year of the PS5 looks like. At least theoretically, we're gonna learn what it is. Hopefully, if not, it'll be a disappointing show. But so Naughty Dog is, I'm expecting them to finally be there. I'm not expecting them to come out with their new IP just yet. I think maybe there's a slim possibility we see that in fall of next year, but more than likely we're going to see that in summer of 2024. Naughty Dog likes to release their games in the summer and spring months. So, speaking of that new IP, what do you think it is? Fantasy setting, they said. What what are you thinking on that? Obviously, no, none of us have any idea what it actually is, but like,
I'm not sure. Uh, uh, I guess. Well, obviously they're not going back to Crash Bandicoot. They don't have it anymore. Um, I
God,
would
that'd be so cool.
say I don't even know. I mean, I wonder how like what they mean by fantasy too, because like that could be very blunt.
Yeah,
It
is
could be
it
like,
high
oh,
fantasy? Is it,
it could just be like, oh, hey, this is like another Uncharted, but it's fantasy. Like it's, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I
I'm
remember
really
quite
curious
a
where they would
few.
go.
I remember quite a few years ago when we first started hearing that they were working on a new IP. There was what everyone have thought was a joke rumor talking about Knights and Dragons in a new Naughty Dog game. And now we're 3 years later almost, and we're hearing that it's in a fantasy setting from the latest leaks. So maybe that original joke leak from a couple years ago wasn't really a joke at all. Maybe they knew what they were talking about and they were just ahead of the game. But like, what if this is like an actual single player, high fantasy Naughty Dog game? That sounds fucking awesome.
I'm
Mostly
really
because I
curious.
love fantasy, so.
Yeah, I'm really curious now. Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean,
I mean, that would make sense because it's not really a very big point, but they've upgraded their fighting system, melee system a lot throughout the
yeah.
years. So that could possibly be it. But I really don't know. I mean, didn't they own Jack and Dexter, or was it someone else?
No, Sony owns Jack.
Oh no, but wait, who made Jack and Dexter? Was it
Naughty
Naughty
Dog,
Dog?
yeah. Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
could be another
That
Jack and Dexter.
I don't know because it says new IP. So it's
Well,
something we've
maybe
never
it's a
seen before.
reboot.
Well, that would still not be a new IP.
That's fair. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
The
Who
fact that it
knows?
says new IP obviously tells us that it's something we've never seen before. Do I still want another Jack? Yes. Do I think we're ever going to get that from Naughty Dog? No. But there is all the news that, to keep up with the amount of studios that Xbox is purchasing and all that, Sony has spent heavily into their existing studios and expanding them. So, we got Naughty Dog working on two full-fledged game, one partial game, and planning the next game. Insomniac's working on 2 games right now. Sucker Punch is there be rumored working on 2 different games. Guerrilla's got a multiplayer project that we haven't heard of. So all these studios are working on more than one game at a time, and they're big enough to. We're talking about massive studios and Naughty Dog, Insomniac, um, Gorilla. We're talking about 250 to 400 people in each one of those studios. So they're big enough teams to work on multiple projects. So I'm excited. We don't know a lot. We know a little bit about Sony's what the future looks like, but we don't know as much as we did a couple years ago. Obviously, um, God of War's coming out shortly. Horizon just came out. Those were the 2 big ones that we knew about going into the PS5. Um, Obviously, Spider-Man 3 we know is next year. Hopefully, it hits that. And then Wolverine. But other than that, we don't know what Sucker Punch's next project is. Um, People are saying it's gonna be the next Ghost. I don't know. I, I mean, where do they go with that story? You know?
Oh, Ghost? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know either. I don't think they should push it any further. I think it's a good one and done game.
yeah.
It's
And the
amazing, and I think they should just stop
and the
and make a new
sales
thing.
the sales actually weren't as impressive as people think. Actually, Days Gone, a game that got its sequel canceled, sold better, marginally better, not a whole lot, but marginally better than Ghost did.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Days Gone passed 9 million copies. Ghost, last time I checked, was like 8.4, something like that.
that's insane.
Well,
That game
new
is so freaking good.
Yeah, but new IPs are always harder to get off the ground. That's why normally you put out the first one, and then normally most publishing companies want a sequel that they can then sell real big.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Um, any of that. Anyway, one thing I did want to say before we moved on was, what do you think the moment-to-moment gameplay is like in the multiplayer game? Because it says a single-player-like experience in an online game. So what do you think it's like? Again, do you fly into the world? Does it take from that battle royale, or is there a single-player-like story connecting each one of these matches, very similar to what we had in Factions, where you're building a base back home? And I'm guessing that's going to be much more thought out and fulfilled in this full-fledged multiplayer game, to where maybe there actually is some base building, and how you perform in the multiplayer matches and all that gives you more materials, and then you can go back and build your own base, and like, maybe I can come in and see what base you built or anything like that. This all sounds really cool. I just realized what I was saying. It sounds cool.
Honestly, what you're saying sounds literally like Division. but without the whole literally building. I think that's what they're going to go down. I think there is going to be a base camp. It's not probably going to be customizable or anything. Like you can't customize it, but I think it's going to be more like you can upgrade it, which then therefore you can upgrade your gear more. And the more you upgrade your camp, the more you can upgrade your gear and do different upgrades with it. And I think that's when they said that it's division, like a mix between division and that, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to connect the multiplayer, which I'm guessing, here's my guess. They're probably going to do division like thing where you have a camp, and then from there, from the camp, if you want to go to it's going to give you multiple maps, and you'll go to like a board or a person, and obviously you can have people join you in your camp to prepare and everything. And then you'll go to like a board or a person, you'll click on it and they'll say, okay, where do you want to go? And they'll give you a few maps, and you'll choose what map it is, and then it puts you into a server. And what happens when you go to that map, I don't know how you're going to get enter it. Maybe you'll enter through a sewer drain. Maybe it'll just show you a cutscene where you drive up, like a car drives up and you get out, or something like that. Probably not a car, but you'll probably walk into the town or wherever it is, mall, et cetera, sewer, and you'll basically be able to do what normal Tarkov is. You'll go around. There might be small side quests probably in the world, kind of like how dark zones work in Division and etc. And also in Escape from Tarkov, there are side missions you can do. They're not going to be super exciting side missions. They're usually like collecting or going and attacking people, or maybe there's this really good gear in a certain location. And then basically you do that. There's going to be NPC enemies in the middle. And since it's Last of Us, they'll probably have the infected, and then they'll also have the humans, and then you'll have players as well in the lobby. And then basically you got to compete to get that gear. And then if you want to extract, you can go extract as soon as you get the gear, or you can keep fighting and try to find more gear and then leave. I think that's how it's going to go down. And I think the connection between the camp and you doing that, there's probably going to be some probably not super exciting story, but very basic story of like, hey, we need to build up the camp, et cetera, for survival. And I think that's how they're going to do it, which is fine. I'm not expecting it to be a super heavy story. I think, honestly, the more exciting part is going to be the whole going in, getting loot, and leaving with it if you can. And then hopefully they do it like Tarkov, where if you go in with loot or weapons and etc., and you die, you lose it all. And then that makes it very difficult. But that's how Escape from Tarkov is. So I don't know. Unless they're going to go down to Dark Zone route, where literally you go in, even if you die, you get to keep your gear, which either way works. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I have a feeling they're going to go for the Escape from Tarkov route, where when you die, you lose all your stuff, or you lose, certain stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
That's how I
Real
feel
quick,
like
can you
it's
give me a
going to
hype
go.
level on the 4 games we've talked about? So you got Factions, then you got the new IP, Last of Us Remake, and Last of Us Part 3.
Last of Us Part 3, 1. Factions, 8. Fantasy game, 8. Well, 9, actually. And then what was the other one? I forgot what the last one was.
The remake.
Oh, 5.
Okay.
So,
Well, I agree with you on Factions 8. Really excited, but it's still going to be a multiplayer game. Who knows how long I'll play it. Fantasy setting, 10. Whatever Naughty Dog does next, I'm in for. Last of Us Part 3. Hype level, probably at an 8. Want level at like a 1. I didn't want Part 2. I didn't think we needed it. I really loved Part 2, but didn't think we needed the game story-wise. Good news is the game proved me wrong, but I similarly don't think we need a Part 3 story-wise. This is coming from also a guy
that's
that
fair.
has no clue what they're going to tell. They may not be connected. It may be set in a different part of the world. If it's set in a different part of the world, that'd be exciting. If we get like a look at a different part of the country, or even not just the country, different part of the world in general, that could re-excite me a little bit. But you know, It's a Naughty Dog game, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be great. Even though you don't think the same way that I do, but
I don't think the same about Last of Us specifically. I'm excited for anything else.
oh, and the remake I'm
I
also
love
out of
the
5. I mean, I'm gonna play it when it comes out, but I've maintained my stance that I don't know why this game is existing. To be fair,
yeah.
again, I've
I don't
also
think anybody understands.
I have also maintained the stance that I think Sony didn't really originally want this game because if you listen to the stories that came out, it was a group of developers in San Diego that started this project on their own, made decent headway, and then Sony was like, "Fine, whatever, we'll fund it." Then the expenses got overblown. Then when Herman Hulst took over the lead of Sony First Party, he essentially was like, "Why are we spending so much money on a remake of a game that came out under a decade ago?" So then they just said, "Screw it. We're gonna take it from you guys, give it to Naughty Dog, let them finish it."
They're
So
pulling the Rockstar slash Bethesda move with Skyrim.
yeah,
They're gonna remake this game over and
again,
over
and I don't think
and
this is
over.
something that even Naughty Dog wants to be working on. It's they also have people that they have to listen to, and if Sony said, "Hey, this game is bigger than it was supposed to be. It's cost more than it's supposed to be. We're giving it to you guys to actually finish it the right way." Like, also, who knows what happens? So, but yeah, I don't need this. I don't want it. But I'm gonna play it because it's The Last of Us, and of course I'm gonna play it. Anyway, moving on to the next story. That was the Naughty Dog rumors. I'm very excited about it because we have not heard from them in quite a while. The next game, also very excited for. The new Tomb Raider game finally gets announced to being worked on, still in the early stages, but it's also been confirmed that it is running on Unreal Engine 5. No real deep information we have here. Uh, the franchise general manager said it's promised to be a high quality cinematic action adventure experience that they look to push the envelope of fidelity. And he's also looking to create an experience fans deserve from the Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider as a series. Logan, we've been talking about Tomb Raider a little bit. Man, I feel like sometimes we like predict what's happening here. Like we talked about Naughty Dog multiplayer last week, and then a new rumor comes out. We talked about obviously Tomb Raider when I started playing it a couple weeks ago. Now the next game gets announced. Like, are we actually time travelers here?
No, of course.
Yeah. Anyway,
We're insiders. We have the insider information.
yeah, we have the insider information that we just keep happily stumbling upon. So, what do you think about the next game? I know we have all played. Well, you have played just like me 2 and a little bit of 3. I've obviously I'm farther in 3 than you are. I also have played some of the original ones. So, for comparison's sakes, I guess I'm a little bit more well versed in Tomb Raider, but that doesn't matter. What is your excitement level here?
I'm pretty
And what
excited.
and what do you think? I guess.
I mean, I'm excited. I don't really much really to think about it, and just like I'm excited to see what the next thing is. I want to beat Shadow Tomb Raider. I'm interested how they're going to continue the story. I don't know how it ends with Shadow Tomb Raider.
Me neither.
I don't know if they're just straight up going to make her now legit Tomb Raider, and she's going to have like dual wielding pistols and stuff. I not really sure what they're going to go with this. That's where it's a little confusing. I don't really know. I need to beat Shadow Tomb Raider, so I'm not like super stoked for this game, but I still curious to see what it's about. Which speaking of, and I know this isn't a part of the story, did you see the Unreal 5 trailer that Coalition put out?
No.
Um oh yeah, Coalition came out with the whole Unreal Engine 5 thing, and man, gets me more and more excited to see an Unreal Engine 5 game.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it
really
officially
fucking
it officially launched last week, so now it is officially out in the world, and people um can get on there and use it. I mean, obviously developers have been using it for a while, but now it's officially launched to the public, so you can get on there and download that if you want to try to do that. I would have no clue where to start making a video game. So
I'm really excited though. I really hope what everyone like all the hype about Unreal Engine 5 is true. I mean again, all we've seen like the most game that we've seen is that Matrix thing, but I want an actual game and I'm really hope whoever comes out with the first Unreal Engine 5 game nails it and like really shows what Unreal Engine 5 can do because I'm really curious. Like, I wonder, like, if everyone really is being honest, this is really awesome. Like, if it really is making things easier and able to create really, really great looking games, I'm really excited to see what people come up with. Because if it is technically easier, then that means games will be even better. So I'm hoping to see that. Like, I mean, I wasn't surprised that Coalition was going to do Unreal Engine 5 because I mean they've been using Unreal Engine. They use Unreal Engine for Gears 5 and 4. Um, so I wasn't really surprised to see that, but it looks phenomenal, and I can't even imagine. I mean, just I guess you to basically see what Shadow Tomb Raider is going to be. You just watch the Unreal Engine 5 trailer, and that's basically what we're going to be seeing, hopefully. So I'm really excited to see it. Um, still need to beat Shadow Tomb Raider, but someday I'll beat that. Maybe I'll beat it around the time this game gets comes out or is announced. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, I think
Uh,
it's exciting news.
that's gonna be a while because I mean this is clearly still in very very early production, if it even is in full fledged production at all.
That's fair.
I'm excited. I love the Tomb Raider. Anything Uncharted, Tomb Raider. They kind of straddle the same line of being similar but different in a way. Um, Also, I'm kind of curious to where they go because I do know the overall story of Shadow is like setting Lara Croft up to be the Tomb Raider that we know from the original games, officially in their timeline. So I'll be interested to see is this kind of like a reimagining of the first game from back in 97 or 98, whenever the first game came out, but. Is this like a reimagining of that game, or is this something brand spanking new? And what I mean by that is like never before seen before at all. So, um, some new information. This could be interesting to people out there who care. Jeff Ross was the old director of Days Gone, worked at Sony and Ben Studio, has officially announced that he is working um, at Crystal Dynamics as the design director. Jesus, dude, I'm having troubles. It's officially announced he's working at Crystal Dynamics as a design director. He did not say what game he was working on, but it seems pretty obvious what game he got hired on to be, considering he previously expressed his desire to work on an Uncharted game, and considering that Crystal Dynamics took inspiration from the PlayStation exclusive when it rebooted Tomb Raider. It would make sense he was a lead in Lara Croft's latest. Reading from one of his interviews, he's voiced vocal about the sequel to Ben Studios' Days Gone that never got to make, saying it was pitched to be a shared universe co-op game with a more technical direction. However, the original game was treated like a disappointment by management, and the sequel got canceled. So with his inclusion, um, what do you think his role will be? Coming from obviously Ben Studio, worked on um Uncharted Golden Abyss, and then obviously Days Gone after that. He's coming over as a design director, so a pretty prominent role in the company. He's going to be working in their California studio, so one of the subsidiaries, whereas I believe Washington is the main one. I don't remember exactly. But what do you think his impact will be, and do you think he will bring any of the Sony philosophy of game making to Crystal Dynamics? Or do you not have any opinion on anything? Got it. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I just read the message. I didn't realize you had gone to the bathroom. My bad.
Sorry about that. So
So did you not hear? Because I actually asked you a question, and then it got
I did
awkward.
not. I'm really
Okay.
sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was just asking what your opinion was on the guy who directed Days Gone coming to Crystal Dynamics and working as a design director on the game. And what do you think and what kind of experience do you think he's going to bring from the Sony mindset of gaming?
The only really thing I can really think of him bringing to the table is maybe possibly, and I'm not going to say this is blatantly just because he's coming over, but maybe an open world Tomb Raider.
Well, I mean, Tomb Raider
Possibly.
is always been way more open than the Uncharted games is, but
Like, but what if it's a straight up open world?
I don't want that. I don't want an open world Tomb Raider.
Like maybe they pull like a Elden Ring thing where they throw you in and you gotta like explore and figure out. I don't know. I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. That sounds like an actual horrible idea to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like an awful
Um,
idea, an open world Tomb Raider
yeah, no,
game.
it does.
Like, even like this,
Um,
even the Skyrim style, like it just sounds like a terrible idea. Like Tomb
well,
Raider is this where you go around the world and you explore ancient stuff. That was a terrible explanation of what Tomb Raider is, but
I guess maybe the thing that I think they could do is maybe like Uncharted 4, where they give you those big open scenes where you get like a decent open area to go explore, like a huge open area. Like, I mean, yeah, Tomb Raiders have always been more open ended
yeah,
in
the
a
more
sense,
been more
but I
hub
mean
areas.
bigger. Like, I want bigger areas, like huge areas to go explore. Because I feel like Tomb Raider, which another topic we're going to bring up later, kind of reminds me of like a Lego hub world where literally there's like, there's a bunch of stuff you can go find in that hub world, little collectibles you can find and stuff. But I mean, like, I want some, I don't know. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, an open world Tomb Raider would be pretty cool. Like, I mean, you get, this big open world story missions are places, but they do it like correctly with like tombs to go explore and stuff. Or maybe they go down the route of like Metro Exodus, where they have those, or I guess, I mean, as I just said, Uncharted 4, where literally they just have those huge hub open or those big open world sections. They're semi open world, is what I want to call it. Yeah, semi open world sections where you get these huge areas to explore and you get like a vehicle or a horse or etc, whatever they want to do to have you transport to each area, and then you can like deep explore that area, or you can just go straight to the next story mission if you want. So who knows? I'm excited to see what they're gonna
Us.
do. I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table though. I mean, Days Gone was okay, so I don't really know what he's gonna bring to the table. Maybe he'll have some knowledge for open world stuff, or um, he'll have knowledge about how they did their whole horde system, which was the biggest part of Days Gone. Maybe that'll help with like a certain enemy type that we'll get in Tomb Raider. So
Well,
who
it was
knows?
it
We'll
was
see.
the horde was supposed to be the biggest part of Days Gone. Turns out
Yeah,
you can't even interact with that thing until you get 40 hours into the game.
yeah, that's the only issue
Ah.
with that game. They take way too part.
Well,
That's where I died off.
honestly, I think the biggest issue with that game is it it it's open world. That game would have been much better off as a more focused single player story. Because like the story and the acting and all that, I think it's great, and it's truthful to the style of game. I know a lot of people complained about some of the writing and the verbal usage that they do, and as far as I can tell from what I've looked into, it's accurate to the way that bikers communicate and the way that they think. So good on them for telling the story that they want to, whether that's a story that other people wanted them to tell. But I think if that game as a 25-hour story driven with again more open areas but not a fully open world game, I think that game knocks it out of the park, and I think we get a sequel from that. But because of the fact it was
I
open world, and I did not like the way that the open world was designed and the systems around the open world and the actual way that it was paced out, I think that's where the game failed on me. But for the story and characters, I was actually into it. I just got tired of the way the game was designed.
I feel the opposite about that. I think the open world was great,
Fair
but
enough, I guess.
I didn't like the pacing of the story. The pacing of the story was stupid slow. Like again, I think it shouldn't take as long as it did to get to the part that everybody was excited for, which is the hordes. And I feel like the pacing was so freaking slow. I mean, like I
Well, that was because of
got
the open
decently
world
far.
design.
No, I think it's mostly the story
No,
design.
because
They
like
kept jumping back and forth between here's the past, here's the present, here's the past, like a certain other game called Last of Us 2, where they keep jumping back and forth, and then they, like it didn't seem like the story was like the story was moving at a snail's pace, when in reality they probably could have cut some of that stuff down and made the game a little bit faster paced. Or maybe get to the more exciting part early and then build on and add more new mechanics from then on. But I feel like having such an exciting mechanic be locked behind a super long, drawn out thing to get to it, kind of like ruined the game for me because like I wanted to start getting the bigger guns. I wanted to start fighting hordes, but like where I finally got to, I finally started to get good weapons. But by that time, I was already bored. I was like, this game is just so slow, and it's not even the open world. I actually liked going into towns and being able to check out things and explore and find side quests and stuff. I thought that was fun. But again, I think that's each to their own, you know. But I just think the story was so slow. Like I liked the story, but it was just too slow. And maybe you're right. Maybe the open world made it even slower. But
Yeah, see,
I
that's where
think
my
they
complaint
could
came
have
in.
they could have paced better, and I think the open world wouldn't have been as much of a problem as it was. But I do think the story is mostly for its fault. That why it's such an okay game because it's just too slow. The story isn't bad. It's the fact that it's just too slow. And
Yes.
again, you're maybe right on the whole, getting from point A to point B. I mean, it also probably would have helped if they didn't do the whole gas mechanic. Like, I get it. You want to go for a realistic thing with the bike. And also, you wanted to start us off with a really crappy bike instead of just giving us a decent bike at the beginning. That also probably didn't help. I think transportation in that game, too, also didn't help. Like, they should have not given you such a crappy motorcycle that runs out of gas like every few minutes, it seems like. So yeah, I don't know. I think the gas mechanic they could have probably scrapped, and it probably would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, well,
But who knows?
I agree with you about the pacing of the story. My complaint is it got pacing to me comes from the way they designed mission structure and the open world, as in that sometimes you couldn't do a single player mission. You had to go out and do side quests. You had to go out and explore the world, and it gated off your single player progress to go out and well, you need this camp to be level 2 before you can activate this story sequence, and it's like, oh, it's so annoying, and just kept making you, it kept forcing you to do other things like that, which
But it almost makes me wonder if they would have maybe made transportation, which again I think as we've had a topic about this on the previous episode. I think one of the most important parts of an open world game is its transportation. And from getting to point A to point B, is it fun? If it's not fun, then it's going to be annoying. And I personally think even the biggest factor is just the motorcycle. I think they give you a really crappy motorcycle when you clearly had a good one at the beginning, and as a story moment you get scrapped and have to get a new motorcycle for, anyways, the dude clearly had all your parts there and he could have put them back on, but no, the game had a story thing where he couldn't do that. And I also think the gas mechanic, which I thought was cool for like the first 10 minutes, and then I'm like, this is really annoying. Like, I thought it was really really annoying at a certain part. Like, I think transportation is the most important part of an open world game. If getting from point A to point B is boring, then I think the open world starts to lack at that point. You need something to get to point A, especially if you're gonna have a big open world. You need something to get you from point A to point B. And if you can't, then it's not exciting or fun to do. Then I think that's where the game starts to lack. I think that's why it's even more annoying. I think that's why the pacing is even more annoying. God, like I drove halfway here. Now I gotta, and even when you use fast travel, you use up gas. So you'll get like halfway there and it's like, oh, you ran out of gas. And you're trying to find a gas can. So you have to pull over, get gas, and then drive more. But because you have the basic bike, you have to stop again and get more gas. And then the upgrade system takes so long, like so much grind to get to a better bike that doesn't need to do that. And you'll be like 30 something hours or 40 hours in the game till you finally start having a motorcycle that, doesn't run out of gas like every 5 minutes. And I think that honestly is another huge reason. I think that's what also hurts the pacing the most. Like, I don't even think it's the open world. If they literally just updated the transportation, made it a little bit easier to get to point A to point B instead of having to make you stop 15 times to get gas, I think it would be a little bit more less tedious, as I would say. I think that's a big reason why it's super annoying from going to point A to point B. Because I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to have your own experience. Like, oh, I got to point A to point B, but let me tell you my story and how I fought this horde on the way there. But the issue is that it's just like at the beginning it's cool, but after a while it just gets really annoying. Because it's like, yay, I have to go stop to get gas. This is a video game. I don't want to stop to get gas. I didn't find that exciting at all. I was like, I don't care about getting gas in my cars. I just think that's dumb.
Okay. So it's nice to hear that we both dislike the game,
Yeah.
partially just for different reasons.
Yeah.
However, we
That's
both
fair.
dislike the game. First time we've ever agreed on anything ever.
Oh yeah.
Moving on, a short story, but I thought it was cool to talk about. The Witcher is getting an official cookbook. This has been announced earlier this week. Says take a culinary journey through the continent with the Witcher Cookbook, created by two people. It includes 80 mouthwatering recipes inspired by the world of the Witcher games that take part from anywhere between uh uh God, here we go. Yeah, baked fruits from white orchards, snacks from the markets of Oxenfurt, and a meal of fresh fish and mulled ciders from Skellige. I'm sure you're
That's
wondering
pretty
why.
cool.
Yeah, well, there are a couple things. Did a couple things that I want to talk about. Um, have you ever like actually like taken a recipe from like a video game cookbook and made it? Because
I have not yet.
there was the
I have one.
Breath of the Wild cookbook. That I did not actually go out and buy, but I did take some of the recipes from, and then Peyton and I made them. It's really fun. And this being The Witcher, I'm a huge Witcher fan. So are you. So I'm actually probably gonna buy this and maybe cook some of these recipes. Why not, right?
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
It's actually
maybe.
not bad. It's $35 too.
Okay, yeah. Apparently it's gonna come out in October or sometime. So that was real quick. I just thought that was cool. You gonna get it? You gonna? I know you're not a huge cook, but you can
I mean,
follow.
we
You can
got a few
follow
cookbooks. We
directions.
have an anime cookbook here actually. So we try to cook different things all the time.
If it's
I
not
mean,
Dragon Ball, I don't want it.
I think they have Dragon Ball in it. It has a bunch of like it
Cool.
has a ton of different ones. So
Cool. All right, moving on. Early this morning, actually, before we record the episode, I woke up to some huge news. Kingdom Hearts 4 has officially been announced during the series' 20th anniversary event. We got a excuse me. We got a new trailer for the game. It is set in a modern day environment, which was really weird to see. Um, and from some of the things that we learned about it, it is definitely a more realistic and down to earth take on the characters and on the world of Kingdom Hearts. But Donald and Goofy are still a part of it, so there's a little bit of clashing ideologies there in my mind. But Logan, what I know you aren't the hugest fan of Kingdom Hearts. I'm a decent fan of Kingdom Hearts, but your wife, big fan of Kingdom Hearts. Are you excited for this? Are you gonna finally make her play the games or what? I guess not make her play the games. You don't
I
make her do anything, but
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I did try to play and I got decently through it actually. Um I've always wanted to get through these games, but the story is just
confusing.
not even the fans know what the story is at this point. Like it just like it's like you know like when you see those conspiracy theorists, like that's what it looks like to be a fan of Kingdom Hearts. They have a board and they're trying to like piece everything together, but really nothing's piecing together. I mean, yeah, this game looks weird though. Um, I don't know. I've been looking up, so like watching a little bit of the video when you were talking. Um, yeah, I mean, she probably is really excited for this, but she still needs to beat like well all of them. She's only being the first one, and technically the first one if you go off of the well, she beat the actual first game that came out, and then she beat the game that is in the first chronological order of like the timeline. I think she beat that one, and then she hasn't really played much of it since. But
Let's see. I have beaten 1, 2, and 3. I was pretty let down with 3. I didn't love it. It does, however, close out the majority of the storyline of Kingdom Hearts. I guess it seemed to do it. Not that I could tell you what the hell happened or even understand what the hell happened, but it seems to close out the the saga, so to speak. And what I found interesting and most intriguing about this is this trailer felt like Final Fantasy 15.
yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
was getting.
obviously Square Enix creates Final Fantasy. Square Enix creates these games, so it seemed like maybe they're taking inspiration from the Final Fantasy 15 of putting these different characters in a more realistic environment, which could be interesting. But then also, I don't know how they're going to bring in the Disney aspect to this. Like
Yeah, like
how
where's the Disney aspect in all
like
this?
how does Donald and Goofy walk around New York City with some giant shadow monsters? How does that play?
Yeah, that's where it's weird. Like the third game looked really good actually. I actually been even though I'll never play the other ones. I mean, who cares at this point? I'll probably never understand the story. I still want to play the third one.
The
I've
third
actually been
one is
tempted.
good. It just let me down because, well, honestly, what let me down the most was the difficulty of it was way too easy, and I felt like nothing. I just felt like I was pressing buttons and just sitting there, and
That's fair.
I got super bored with it because like the original games, especially towards the end, and Kingdom Hearts 1, it's fucking hard. Like it is a hard game. Like you got to know what you're doing,
Well,
and
I seen Amy play it. It was it was
yeah,
brutal.
it's not easy. And in Kingdom Hearts 3, I was just like, man, they took all the difficulty out of this. Like I feel like I don't have to interact with the combat system at all to get anywhere. And then with that, obviously, yeah, the story it doesn't pull me in as much. So there was nothing really pulling me through Kingdom Hearts 3. So that was where my disappointment lies. But um I'm tentatively excited about Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't really understand the direction and where they're going with it. Um, I don't understand how it says, you get the Disney worlds in here because that is the most interesting thing about Kingdom Hearts is getting to explore the actual Disney worlds, like getting to explore the Hercules world, getting to explore Toy Story world. All these things. Those are the most interesting aspects of it, and I I I I find it hard to believe they'll take that away. Like obviously, this may just be one world that is in the grander scheme of the game. But I also don't know what world this would be in terms of Disney. So, but I'm tentatively excited. Um, and we'll see. This game probably come out in 2028 at this point. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving on to our next story. The next two are connected together a little bit. Ubisoft has announced that it is ending support for
Requan.
Recon, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The last piece of content launched in November 2nd, 2021. So 2 years of continuous updates. And now the game is being shelved. Obviously, the servers and everything will still stay open, but you are getting no more support for Ghost Recon. Logan, you are the Breakpoint expert. I, I do not give a flying
Exploit.
I do not give a flying fuck about this game. So, give me your
I
reactions.
wouldn't really say I put a lot of care into this game. The only reason I started to get into it is because they took out the garbage. They basically tried to make another division when they already had a division. With the whole stupid looter shooter stuff in the Ghost Recon game. Um, Honestly, Ubisoft, I mean, they deserve to have this die because, especially, I don't know if you read even more into this, but they literally started to sell NFTs in this game,
Well, that's
where
Ubisoft, man. They're
literally,
all on board with
no,
those stupid
well,
things.
it's even more dumb because it's like armor pieces, and they would sell you that as an NFT, and they would put like a number on it and act like, "Oh wow, you own that helmet. That's number 122. So now if you go to sell, well, guess what? All those NFTs, they're worthless now. Literally worthless because the support's done. I mean, it already didn't have enough money, and then when the servers shut down, they are even more worthless, which is another reason why I'm not gonna lie, Ubisoft is really going down a really bad path, and
They've
they
been
keep
doing
going
it,
down this
man.
path. I mean, but they're getting even worse. Like I didn't know this NFT thing existed until
Yeah.
recently. I didn't know that they like I know what NFTs are, but I didn't know they were putting it into the video game and
Oh,
literally selling armor pieces as literally NFTs. Like it's
yeah.
in the game.
The
You
things
buy
you
that.
quote unquote own, but you don't own
Yeah,
because it's a
you don't
digital
own
aspect.
them.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
digital item. Technically, I guess you own it, quote unquote, but you own it as much as you own that online game you bought or that
and then
digital
this
game you
is
bought.
and this is too like this is their beta. This is their test game. This is the first game they've done this with, and I really hope it fails. Like I mean, I'm happy it's ending support because honestly, and it kind of sucks because I don't think the developers wanted to do this. Like there's even been people saying that they did not want to put the NFT crap in there. but Ubisoft is like shoving it down all their developers' throats and saying you have to put it in there. And then as their reward, they're giving the employees NFTs. It's like, are you serious right now? Like literally, Ubisoft is becoming more. I mean, they already were becoming a joke, but this is like a whole nother level. And honestly, I'm really scared. I mean, I'm already been scared before, but this is even more scary that their next. I mean, I really think Ubisoft is going to fail if they keep going down this route. Like, I really think Ubisoft is going to die if they keep going down this route because they are literally doing the stupidest stuff. I mean, for first thing, they're ruining all their franchises, one after another after another. I mean, first it started off with Assassin's Creed, and then it was I don't really think Ghost Recon Wildlands was a bad game. I actually really liked Wildlands a lot. But then Breakpoint came out and they literally just spit in all the people's face and said, "We're gonna make it a looter shooter," when literally they already had a looter shooter, which is Division 1 and 2, which still doesn't make any sense to this day. Um, and now they ruined Far Cry. I mean, I don't know where they plan on going at this point. I mean, maybe they'll fix things, but if they start adding NFTs to their games, I'm done supporting Ubisoft. I'm done. I'm not buying NFT crap for your games. I don't want to support NFTs. And honestly, I can't wait till NFTs die because they are starting to make their way into actual gaming and like stuff. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to have to go play the next Call of Duty and I buy this skin, but it has a number on it and it's more expensive because it's an NFT. Because I own number 156 of those bunny ears that I could put on my dude's head. Like really, like it's just stupid. Like you should not be connecting cosmetic stuff in a video game to NFTs. That is so stupid. So yeah, I'm kind of happy that this died, and they keep killing off all their support for games. Like for example, Watch Dogs Legion, that got ended support too, and that game was supposed to get a bunch of updates, but Ubisoft is just killing their games off at this point. So I honestly have no more faith for Ubisoft, which does kind of scare me about that Mario and Rabbids game, but we'll see. I don't think they'll mess that up as bad because it's Nintendo with them. So, but still, I'm very afraid of what's to come. And yeah, about our next story, I'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah,
Well, we can go
I'm
right into it because I don't really have much to say about Breakpoint. So, in the connecting story, with the announcement that they're ceasing support for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, they have announced that the new Ghost Recon sequel is reportedly in development and could be in the way by next year. This is a separate project from Ghost Recon Frontline, the free-to-play battle royale game that got delayed one day after it got revealed because everybody hates it and no one understands why. So this is separate from that. This is the new Ghost Recon. Anything else from this article? Oh, the codename Project Over, whatever that means.
it means that Ubisoft is killing their franchises.
Yeah, yeah,
Project over.
yeah.
It's
It's
all
done.
over.
It's done. Yeah, yeah. So
God.
those of you
Ugh.
who remember from a year ago, the GeForce Now leaks. This was a part of the GeForce Now leaks, which is continually everything that we saw in that just continues to reiterate and refocus the fact that those leaks might be the biggest video game leaks to come out in the modern era. However, going on, they say we will continue to maintain servers for both Ghost Recon Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and we truly hope you will continue to enjoy the game and have fun playing in solo or co-op with your friends. That was a statement from Ubisoft themselves.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I'm it hurts me more than anything because like here's the thing, like I know a lot of people weren't excited about what they did with Wildlands, but Wildlands was still so good. Like I still think it was really fun. The gameplay was awesome, and it was like I don't know, I really liked it a lot. Like it was really really good in my opinion. Um, kind of remind me a lot of the old days of me playing SOCOM, and it gave me those vibes, and I was really enjoying it. And I loved the customization for your character. I like the customization with the weapons. I found the whole boss system where if you take down certain areas. You can like do those missions, and there's like a ton of ways to do the missions. And I thought it was really good. I thought it was amazing. And then they came out with Breakpoint, and they just like did everything that people did not want. I mean, for the first thing, the single player mode, you have to be online to play it. Why? Literally, why? They had no good reason for it other than it helps with multiplayer. And I'm like, are you serious? So then what happens when the servers die? The game's gone. It's literally gone. I don't understand. I hate this crap. I'm not going to go too far on this tangent, but like, why? I hate how games keep putting single player games on servers where literally at that point, if those servers die, that game is non existent. It is gone forever. And Breakpoint servers will die down at some point and it will never exist again. I mean, probably that's a good thing, but it still sucks because I did find some enjoyment with Breakpoint after they updated it a lot, took out the looter shooter stuff, and they started to make it more and more like Wildlands. It still never got to Wildlands because Wildlands is just so much better. There was so much more biomes, exploration, the bosses were more interesting, just everything was more interesting and better about it. So, honestly, at this point, I have almost no hope for Ubisoft. I mean, if I had to put a hype level for the next Ghost Recon, it's probably a 0.5. The lowest of the low.
Oh, I mean,
Probably
technically,
0.1.
I was
Like,
like, yeah,
I'm so,
you can give a
to be
0 if you
honest.
want. I don't care.
Yeah, honestly, 0. I'm
All right, there you
really
go.
sad because I want it to be good. But if Ubisoft is starting to like force them to put NFTs in their games, I even more now don't want to support them. I mean, honestly, Ubisoft could die, and I could not care at this point,
Okay,
and
well,
they could
I
just
don't. Okay,
sell out.
oh, hold on. Let's pause it
Uh,
real quick. I don't want people to die.
no,
I
I meant the
oh,
company, not
okay.
people. I don't
Okay,
want people to
Jesus.
die. Whoa, I ain't like that. No, I meant like I want the like I just think maybe at this point, maybe I would be happy if someone bought them because literally they're just ruining everything. I mean, everything. Like they're just spitting on all these franchises and just being, and then like literally their fans keep trying to give them feedback, and like obviously don't listen to all feedback, but like when you have a very blatant that like everyone is having these issues with your games, you would think you would want to fix them, but
Yeah,
no. Obviously, they just don't give a crap at this point. And then even more spitting into people's face and putting these NFT crap in here, which literally no one asked for. Even the developers of the games aren't even wanting to do it, and yet it's just I don't know. Honestly, if Ubisoft again keeps going down this route, I don't think it's going to exist anymore in the next couple of years. I think they are literally going to kill all their franchises, kill their entire company, and it's just going to die a very very sad death. So we'll see. I don't know.
I'm still holding out hope for eventually we're gonna get a first era modern day Assassin's Creed game, but
That'd be pretty cool though.
we're never gonna get that, man. And what I mean by first era, I mean
Well, we're
like
getting Assassin's Creed Infinite.
fuck off.
Oh
Well, it's
god.
funny you talk about listening to the feedback and all that, and there is a line. Obviously, making video games is an art form, and you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't need to strictly listen to your
Yeah,
fans.
sometimes fans don't exactly understand or agree with the direction that you as a developer take, but it is your thing. It's your like if I'm making a painting, which I don't do because I can't draw a straight line, but if I was making a painting and someone's like, well, why don't you do this instead? I'm like, oh, that's an okay idea, but it's not what I want for this. However, criticism can be taken good, and if something is critically lauded enough that the fans are screaming about it, and then the studio behind it changes that, fans will appreciate that and come out to support you. A perfect example, a movie I just watched this weekend. So when the original Sonic trailer came out, everyone remembers that was the ugliest character of all time. And the studio said, okay, we hear you, we get it, we know we screwed up. Spent $35 million redesigning this entire character, and now they have 2 successful movies and a third one on the way. Sometimes it helps.
Yeah, I mean,
Some,
like a good game example for me personally was Battlefront 2 by EA. That game got so much shit talked on it, and now where it stands, that game is great. I mean, it lost support, which sucks because that's EA and it's not making them enough money. But that game ended off in a better note than where it started. Way better note. Like that game is
Well,
great now.
that's not
It's
hard to end a better note than where you started with that one.
yeah, well, but it's like way better
I get
now.
what you're saying.
And they put so much support in that game and like listened and obviously fixed a lot of things. Obviously, I'm not saying you should listen to everything. Like clearly, if the game is successful and people are complaining about it, that doesn't mean you need to listen to everything they have to say. Like for example, Elden Ring, with people complaining about people's. By the way, I've been seeing a lot of posts lately about people complaining about people's play styles in that game, and I'm like,
Who the hell
just shut up.
cares?
Like, yeah, who cares? Like,
Shut
it's
up.
literally called it's literally the most accessible from software game that ever come out. And the whole point of the game is play how you want to. And people are so stubborn about like you have to play it a certain way and you can't use these weapons and you can't do this thing. It's like, but they put it in the game. They put it in the game for a reason. Everything is
Yeah.
set up for a reason. You could do and play however you want. And that's one thing I really don't like about From Software fans, most of them, or well, a good portion of them,
Oh,
because they all act
they're
like
prima donnas, man.
yeah, they're all act like, oh, you have to play one way. If you use this weapon or you use this ability, then you're just a noob and you suck and you shouldn't play the game. It's like what? Everyone should play a game however they want to play. It's
That
just how it is.
that's like if I would sit up and like you would stop playing the Pokemon games. I'm like, oh, if you don't play Nuzlocke, then you're terrible. You're not experiencing the games at all.
Exactly.
Like, no, you can play Nuzlocke if you want. That's there are rules to follow, and that is a style of the way you can play the game if you want to. I don't honestly recommend anyone doing a Nuzlocke because it's the most annoying thing on the face of the planet. But yeah, people leave people alone. All right, yeah, I don't understand what the fascination in the world today of you do something that I don't like, so therefore I'm going to get mad at you. Like, well, leave people alone. Let them do whatever the hell they want.
I mean, the whole point of video games is the freedom away from the world and being able to enjoy something that you can't really do in real life.
Yeah, just doing
I
what you
mean,
want to
some
do.
things you could do in real life, but like most things you can't. And like, like I don't need to hear your opinions on like how I play a game. Like the game is literally meant to be played the how you want to play it. Elden Ring is a great game because it literally, and by the way, I am writing up a review for it, and I have a review written up for Lego Star Wars when we get to that point. It's not fully written up. Whenever I beat the game and everything, we'll talk about it later. I'm getting off tangent now, but basically, I just think like Elden Ring is just a great game. Clearly, you get to make your own choices, play however you want. If you want to grind, you can grind. If you want to just go straight for the main bosses and do what you did in the old games, you can do that. That's why it's so great. That's why the game is selling so well, and a lot of people are starting to love it. I mean, for example, me, not a big From Software fan. I started playing Elden Ring and I'm in love with it because it's literally the most accessible game. And for people like, and I love all the new additions to it, and I love how it plays, and it's just way better than all the other games for me. I just find enjoyment in it. And yes, sometimes a game can be easy, and sometimes a game can be excessively hard, but that's what I love about it. So I just think it's great. And obviously, if you want to make the game easy, you could just look up the most overpowered stuff, build your character to that point, and then just play that way. That's the whole point of it. Play how you want. I don't really look up that stuff most of the time. Sometimes I mean I find stuff that's more powerful than others, but I'm definitely not overpowered. I
Play
definitely struggle quite a bit, but I still love it though. I'm still enjoying it a lot.
play your way. Don't listen to anyone else.
Exactly.
One quick before we move on. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, look back to 2018 when Battlefront 2 came out. Couldn't you imagine, or could you even think back then that we'd be like, you know what? EA may be greedy. EA may want money, but at least they still care about video games. Whereas we're sitting here in 2022, and I'm like, EA cares more about video games and the people who play video games than Ubisoft does. And
Yeah.
I'm confident making that statement.
Certain games, not sports games, but certain games, yeah. Like the new WWE, they put a lot of effort in that. They took time, and I gotta respect that.
Well,
I'm happy that they
that's not
came out with the not what?
it's not EA.
It's not?
No, that's
Oh,
2K.
it's 2K. I
Yeah,
forgot.
I was like, that's
Well,
Take Two.
still. Okay, well, there's sports games I don't agree with, but everything else I do
But
agree
like,
with. But yeah.
yeah,
Well, and Battlefield. Oof.
well, yeah, but I honestly think that's DICE screwed up that one.
Oh no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think DICE screwed that one up hard. And sometimes there is like, well, you know, EA's their boss, and it's like, yeah, but my bosses aren't entirely responsible for the things that I do. Same way as that, EA probably said, "Hey, you're DICE, go make the next Battlefield game," and they trusted them to do that. So did we all. Anyway, anything else on your rant on Ubisoft and how much they suck now? By the way, yes, I am done supporting Ubisoft too. Um, I I don't even think I'll buy the next Assassin's Creed, especially not Infinite or Universe or
Yeah.
whatever the hell it's called. Um, the only way I would buy it if they come out and be like, "Hey, look, no, this is 100% the Assassin's Creed that Assassin's Creed fans want." And I'm fairly confident to say that Assassin's Creed fans are pretty much uniform in what they want Assassin's Creed to be. It is the newer fans that are like, "Oh yeah, I want a 100-hour RPG in Assassin's Creed," and shut the fuck up and go play FIFA. So I hate people sometimes, man.
I mean,
Anyway,
I don't agree where Assassin's Creed is today. It's not really Assassin's Creed. I think they should just switch it off to two different franchises, which it does seem like they are kind of going in that direction now. They are starting to like. I mean, I'm not for sure on that, but they're starting to make more and more side games off of Assassin's Creed, and they're trying to like. Hopefully that means they're splitting it off. That would be a good idea, but it's Ubisoft. Good ideas don't come to their mind, so we'll see. But I'm not really gonna get my hopes up or even imagine that they're gonna do better because they probably won't. But yeah, so yeah, I think I'm done. My rant is over.
all right. Well, moving on to the next story. Something that's really good. Remedy has announced they are remaking Max Payne 1 and 2 with the help of Rockstar in the producing role. Uh, an announcement from Sam Houser says, "We are thrilled. We were thrilled when our longtime friends at Remedy approached us about remaking the original Max Payne games. We are massive fans of the work that the Remedy team has created over the years, and we can't wait to play these new versions." I am very excited. I love the original Max Payne games. I even love Max Payne 3, which was produced by and made by Rockstar Games. However, the original Max Payne 1 and 2 were the, I guess, standout or coming out party for Remedy as a studio. Said they have gone on, obviously, to make games like Control, Alan Wake, the upcoming Alan Wake 2, and Quantum Break for the Xbox One. This game has been announced to being built on the same engine as Control and the upcoming Alan Wake 2, and it has been confirmed. No, it's not been confirmed, but it seems like it is a full remake of the first two games in the series. Logan, are you excited about this? Have you ever played any of the Max Payne games? I am excited about this. I don't have much to say. Can't wait to play them. I like remakes of old games, and these are the type of remakes I want. A 20-year-old game that is now coming back out with modern technology. That makes more sense than a game that came out in 2013. Just saying.
I am really my mic didn't go on for a second there. I'm actually really excited for this. I played the third one. That's the only one I played, and I loved it a lot. I thought it was really fun. I thought the gameplay was really fun. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to play the first two. Never played them, but honestly, now this gives me a reason to just wait till these come out, and then I'll play it on the newest version. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this, and it's cool that they went back to Remedy to remake these two games again, and they're making it on their engine.
Well,
Unlike they're not making it on the Rage engine or anything.
it sounds
So
like Remedy went to Rockstar because if you listen to what Sam Houser says we were thrilled when our longtime friends at Remedy approached us about remaking the original because Rockstar owns Max Payne IP right now, And
Yeah,
Remedy is obviously not owned by Rockstar, so Remedy would have had to go to them and be like, "Hey, we want to do this. I mean, obviously we made these games. You own the franchise now. We want to remake these games." And Rockstar was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it."
I'm excited.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be super cool.
I like Remedy. I liked him a lot. I loved Alan Wake. I liked Control. Obviously, I love the original. I love all three Max Payne games. Um, I'm missing one. Well, I literally said it 5 seconds ago. The one where they did the TV show. Oh, Quantum Break. I like Quantum Break, even though
Yeah,
it was flawed in a lot of ways. But I appreciated the willingness to go there and do that. So, like I said, very excited. I can't wait. I said these are the remakes that I want from modern day video games. Anything
yeah.
else?
Um, no, just really, I'm actually really, really stoked for this. Like I didn't see this coming, so I'm really, really, really excited for this.
Cool. All right, our last news story before we get into Lego Star Wars. The BAFTAs were held this week. They are the British Academy Game Awards. I'm gonna run through some of the nominees, and we'll talk about them for just a little bit. We wanna leave plenty of time to talk about Lego Star Wars. Nominees for Best Game were Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Inscription, It Takes Two, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Returnal. Returnal took home the win there. Um, the Best British Game, Forza Horizon 5, took home the winner. Best Animation, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Best Artistic Achievement, The Artful Escape. The Best Audio Achievement, Artful Escape. Best Debut Game is this game called Toem, which I have no clue what that is. But, Best Evolving Game, big surprise here, No Man's Sky wins out over Among Us, Animal Crossing, Apex Legends, Disco Elysium, and Fortnite. Best Family Game is Chicory. Heard a lot about that last one. Best Game Design is Inscription. Best Multiplayer Game,
Ooh,
It
yeah.
Takes Two. Nominees for Best Music are Returnal. For Narrative, Unpacking. Amazing game if you've never played Unpacking. It is phenomenal. Best Original Property, It Takes Two. Technical Achievement, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Sorry, I screwed up. Oh, Best Performance in a Leading Role, the lady who played Celine in Returnal, and Best Performance in a Supporting Role, Kimberly Brooks from Psychonauts 2. Logan, what do you got?
It's really cool to see specifically Inscription get a win. That game beyond deserves it. The game is super cool. I don't know if you ever seen anything about it, but it is an amazing mix between a horror slash card game, and I really want to play it. I watched a lot of gameplay on it, and it is awesome. Like just freaking awesome. So I've actually really wanted to play it. Like it looks super good, and it's the art style is phenomenal, and just the story is super cool. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's good. I mean, it makes sense that Ratchet and Clank got all those technical victories,
Game is
and
beautiful.
also uh yeah, Returnal. That's cool to see. I mean,
God,
someday I'll play that game, but
same man. I was so excited for that game, and then it came out, and fucking Outriders. I played for 120 hours and distracted me, and I've just never come back around to playing Returnal. But man, do I want to play that.
honestly, it's probably a good thing you didn't play it because when it first came out, it had a big thing of bricking people's PS5s. Probably a good thing you waited.
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah,
though.
it was
See,
straight up bricking people's
I
PS5s.
actually have good luck, and things don't break on me like they do for you. So I probably
That's
wasn't gonna
fair.
experience that. Yeah. I'm surprised Returnal did brick your PS5, even though you don't own it and you never played it. That's how good your luck is.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
All right, so congratulations to Returnal and all the winners at the 2022 BAFTA Awards. I forgot to watch this. I usually watch it, but I forgot. I was busy with a little game called Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which we are now going to go into our point of the show, which is all about our impressions, our initial week one reactions to the biggest Lego game ever made.
That
Now,
was a beautiful transition.
thank you. Yeah. Like that? That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I came up with it on the spot. So, Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start. I have a lot of thoughts. I played a lot of the game. I'm on
Okay.
episode 8 right now.
Oh,
And I started
Jesus.
from 1. So,
Well,
yeah,
I have finished episode 3. I'm getting ready to do episode 4. I'm taking a long time with it. I'm 14 hours in. Um, I have 250 bricks, so I am playing through it relatively slow. I'm not trying to rip through the story. I have two things that pretty much sum up my impressions.
okay.
All right, and they're kind of not contradictory things, but they kind of conform together. They form together to just give you my interpretations. This is at one time the greatest Lego game ever made, and at the same time, this is still a Lego game.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a fantastic game that is still a Lego game. It,
Yeah.
it, it doesn't do as much as I thought it was going to do, especially from the way that people were talking about it, especially the way you were talking about some of the things. The cover system is fucking useless. You don't need it. I can just run and gun at all times. Um, Now, I will say the combat is fucking cool. Like, I've seen people do really cool things. We're talking about DMC style of combos. Granted, again, you don't need it. You can hit square 3 times and defeat most enemies. Other than the actual like boss fights and everything like that. So I say it is probably easily my favorite Lego game, but it still is a Lego game with all the negatives for me that comes with. Biggest negative being it's just not hard. You don't need to pay attention to really anything. It just you want to get out there and explore. And there's where my biggest plus comes from. The exploration of this game is really, really cool. I haven't gotten too heavy in it because I'm just exploring the areas that the game gives you to. I don't really free explore too much. I haven't even really gone into the galaxy exploration mode at all. I just explore within the confines of the episode arcs. But since I am doing a decent amount of exploration in that, um, and yeah, I guess my overall opinion is it's just another good Lego game, the best we've ever had. But to me, Lego games have a ceiling, and this game doesn't change enough to be able to break through that ceiling. But it is really, really good if you do like the Lego games. That's not the
Okay.
ending of my impressions of it, but I want to get your long form impressions first.
Before I start, um, I really do, either, I don't know if you want to do the review, but I think we should do this game maybe next episode or so.
Well, we'll see.
Because I'm already almost done. Like, I'm pretty damn close to beating the game.
Well, you're
And
done with the
I'm definitely
story,
going to be
but
I'm definitely gonna be. I already did. I've been doing a lot of collecting too myself and stuff, and I plan to rebeat it again for a second time on free play mode. Um. Okay. So let me get into it. I actually wrote out a good amount about this game. Uh. So here's the thing. The graphics, amazing. Like I think they are really, really good. Really loving it. I've been enjoying. I do think the combat is way better than any other Lego game I ever played,
oh, it's better. It's
which
but
isn't saying much
yeah,
because I'm. Well, I guess it is kind of. I mean, it's. I've been doing a lot of research before this game came out because I haven't touched a Lego game since the complete saga, and then I started playing the Marvel games with my wife Amy. Really enjoying it. I beat like the Avengers game, and it was fun, but it was very very hardcore Lego game. And as you could probably tell, like you see a Lego game, you get what a Lego game.
yeah,
Um, so let's see. The graphics are great. The combat is way better. Um, way way better actually, like excessively better. Like especially when you get into I mean, you've done a few boss battles. The boss battles are super fun in this game. I've enjoyed all of them. So my thoughts, and this is more I'm gonna start with some negatives for the first thing before I get to the positives even more. I mean, I already said a few positives, but I'm gonna say a few negatives. Um, one of my negatives is, and this is a personal preference. is I wish they had modifiers that are harder. They have modifiers that make the game easier when the game's already easy. Why aren't there modifiers to make the game harder? I have turned a few things off to make the game not more harder, but not as easy. Like, so there's an in the upgrade system, you can upgrade your health and stuff. I looked it up, which is great. I like that they add this feature at least. You can deactivate some of your skills that you upgrade because
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I thought I thought the lightsaber and the blaster were kind of weak, so I wanted to upgrade those to make them a little bit stronger. So you could deactivate the health things, which I did because I don't know why you need more health. The game already gives you like you already got a lot of health, so I don't think you really need more health and more armor. You
Yeah.
can also deactivate your health reach, which I've been tempted to do that
Well, I
and just have the heart system back again.
I deactivated the one where it shows you where all like the hidden collectibles are and everything like that.
Oh, that too, yeah, I
I
did that as
deactivated
well.
that for two reasons. One, because I actually liked exploring around the map, and I also think it made the HUD ridiculously ugly. I was like, dude, there's fucking circles all over my screen. I was like, this is
I am happy that they let
hideous.
you deactivate the HUD too, most of it. Well, pretty much all of it actually. I do like that they let you do that.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one of my negatives. The other negative, and this is just personal opinion, I've been doing a lot of the exploring of the world because they are super fun to explore. But my biggest disappointment is they updated the combat for a reason, and there's nothing to fight in the open worlds
Yeah.
at all. Like nothing, nothing. It's just a collectathon, which great. I like exploring, and sometimes you'll get some of the side missions will get you to fight people, but those fights last like 0.5 seconds, and then you're just like, well, back to collecting bricks again.
Have you fought the dragon
That
yet?
Yes, that
Oh,
was awesome.
that was so
Dude,
cool. Yeah.
that was actually
That was cool
probably
as
the
shit.
best quest I've done so far, and I've done a few side
Well, okay, hold
quests.
on. Let's not call them quest. Let's call them activities because that's what they are.
Oh, it was kind of like a side quest, still like
Okay,
a
well, I guess
sort of
that's a lie, because, I mean, okay, never mind. Yeah, that's a total lie. I literally had a thought when I was doing that first real bounty hunter one in the prequel series, and I'm like, wait, you have to, like, go to different planets and talk to people, and, like, you're chasing
yeah,
down.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah. You
wow,
have to
this is,
find the
like,
holocron thing. Is that
yeah,
what it
I was
was?
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is, like, actually a quest line. Like, none of it's really interesting or anything like that, and to me, like, there's nothing crazy happening, but it's, like, a legitimate quest line. So, I don't know where I was going with that. I completely contradicted my own thought process on that. So yeah,
But
that sorry, go ahead.
but yeah, no, I mean, I think some of the side quests are really fun, but they're kind of hard to find. Sometimes it's just like go get a brick, but then some of them are actually like pretty good side quests where they like tell you to either go to different planets or go find this person, or like for example what we said, where you had multiple planets to figure out where this specific person is. That was fun, and the dragon one was really fun. Not going to ruin where that is or any spoilers like that, but I think it's really annoying that like you go to space and they have random events, random space battles, and etc. But on the freaking open worlds, there's no such thing. I think that's where it starts to lose me, and that's why most of the time, like I do a few collecting things, and then I get really bored because that's all I'm doing, and there's nothing to attack. There's nothing to do other than just collect bricks, and it's really frustrating because it's like I have these cool characters I just unlocked, but
There's nothing to do
unless
with
I want to
them.
go to free play, I won't be able to really fight with them or anything other than just go
Yeah,
collect bricks. Like that sucks. Like I really hope they do add that as an update. Like it's really not that hard. It's got to add a circle as a random event. You go into that circle and then it becomes like a battle like in space where it's two different factions fighting and then whoever wins and you get some coins out of it.
by the way,
Bam,
speaking of that,
done.
let me interject real quick. Have you gotten a capital ship to show up yet? Because
No,
man, I can't get one to show
I
up.
played 35 hours and I've still not seen a single one.
I
Not a
was
single
flying
one.
around Coruscant for an hour doing these. Okay, maybe it was. It felt like an hour, but it was probably honestly only like 10 or 15 minutes. But I was doing those stupid events over and
Mhm.
over and over again. I couldn't get a fucking capital ship to show up. And I'm like, well,
That's
this
what
is
I was saying.
dumb.
Like, I didn't know how to do it. Like, I have no idea how to do it. I
Apparently, it's
just
just
thought
random. It's like the gold bounty hunter ships. They're just kind of
really,
random.
huh? I didn't
And
know
yeah,
that.
apparently you just got to keep flying around till they show up. And I'm like, that's stupid.
So yeah, hopefully by the time I get a official review out for this, I will have actually taken down a capital ship, because that was one thing I was really excited to do, and I still have yet to do it. And I'm already on episode 8, and I've been playing from the first episode. So another little negative, and you will run into this. You played episode 2, haven't you? Yeah, you played episode 2.
Yeah.
Dude, that first chase scene with the fucking taxi was
Was
so annoying.
It was awful.
It was awful. Yeah, it
That
was
was an
beyond
awful
awful.
mission.
And guess what? That's not the only one. There's a worse one that you'll get to later in episode 6. I won't ruin it for you, but it is bad. So
Well, I
here's
mean,
another
it's
negative.
the
I'm gonna
Endor
get to
one,
the
so I'm
yeah.
like, you realize I have a pretty deep knowledge of Star
I
Wars, right?
know.
You say episode
No,
6, I know what
it's
chasing you're
worse.
talking about.
It's worse than the taxi one.
That's
Like,
great.
I would say about 3 times worse.
One
My negative is
one
sorry.
negative I did want to throw in real quick, sorry, is while I think it does a okay job of presenting the story of Star Wars, it's very rushed the way they do it. It's like, the story is presented to you in a way that you understand everything that happened, but you don't get any of the nuance or anything behind it, which is different from the original Lego Star Wars games, where you do get some of the nuance and you do understand some of the more important characters. I mean, there's so many moments that, because of the structure of this game, they just don't have time to sit there. They just don't have time to show you or anything like that, You don't get any, like, crazy depth. Like, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, if I was a kid and, I get to the point to where, oh my God, I can't think, where Obi-Wan and Anakin have the big brawl on Mustafar. And I was like, man, if I was a kid and I never really watched Star Wars too much and I just played this game because it's fun, I was like, would I care? No. Because, like, you don't ever really get them two together that much. Like, I don't know. And the same thing with, like, episode 2 and the mother scene, which was, okay, one thing that I did laugh at, did you get the little,
The robot.
No, if you talk to someone in the open area in the jungle and waste before you actually do that mission, if you just walk up to someone and talk to them, it's like, this is a Tuscan
Yeah,
village.
yeah.
It is
Yeah,
home
yeah.
to mothers and children too. It just killed me. Also, did you get the little slavery thing?
What little slavery?
Bro, there's a whole line about slavery in the Tatooine city in Mos Espa, not Isley.
No, I don't think I've done that
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't. No, it's not anything. It's just a random NPC you can talk to. I just talked to her, and she was like, "We don't like to use that word here. We like to say it's forced servitude." I was like, "Oh, shit!"
Okay.
I was like, "Okay, well, they're just making a slavery line in this Lego Star Wars game." But anyway, going back to my original point is like, I don't think this is a good way to absorb the Star Wars story. Whereas the original Lego games, they were a decent way for kids to get a different interpretation or a different take on the story. Things move too quickly here that you lose a lot of the importance. And this really is just a game, like, if you are already a fan of Star Wars, here is the story in its most bullet point form of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but I've actually been really enjoying it the way it is.
Oh, I enjoy it.
I will admit, I think some episodes get a little bit more love than the others. Like, I love episode 3 in this game a lot.
Oh yeah, because
but
it's mostly just a boss rush.
I am kind of sad they took out a very iconic scene that I was surprised they didn't put in there, was the fact that they didn't do the march to the Jedi Temple with Anakin.
Yeah.
That kind of disappointed me.
I didn't get to take out any younglings. What the hell?
Like, I get the whole not putting the youngling killing,
Oh no, fuck it, dude.
like,
Put it in here.
but, like, not even showing a cutscene of him, like, march up, like, was kind of disappointing. I was like, oh, okay. And they just kind of jump you into the Jedi Temple, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, all right. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they don't even bring it up at all. Like,
yeah, I was
even
like,
when Obi-Wan and Yoda watch the security recording, like, it's not even on there at all. It's just him fighting the robots.
wait,
right?
you beat all episode 3, right?
Yeah, I beat for 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just want to make sure. Well, another thing is, so, like, they take that out, but yet they put this random ass mission with Yoda in that. Like, I get that they had to show what happened on Kashyyyk, but, like, did you really have to make a whole level of him escaping?
Oh, that was my favorite level
Like,
of episode 3. I loved
really,
exploring
I
Kashyyyk.
love the first
Oh,
one the most
the
and the last one, the
the
last mission.
the
Those are my favorites.
well, okay, yeah,
Oh, and Grievous. I forgot.
well,
Actually,
okay,
all
like the
most
actual
of it was
levels.
good.
I'm talking about like the world that you explore. Like I thought Kashyyyk was really fun. I did a lot of the
Oh, it's cool.
platforming. I was enjoying jumping around. Actually, it was I almost completed the entire world in just I think there was 28 bricks. I got like 23 of them just because I was really exploring. Like I was like, this is fun. I enjoyed the platforming of that. So I actually really liked Kashyyyk.
Oh no, I love Kashyyyk in general, but I just kind of wish they put some time into also that moment as well.
Yeah,
Because if I would say I liked 90% of episode 3. Like I really liked actually pretty much every mission. I really enjoyed all of them. Um, but yeah, no, I think episode 2, that first mission, and in episode 6 when you get to that speeder thing, those missions, like even the episode 6 one's even worse. Like it is. So another negative I'm gonna get in. I know I'm gonna get to the positives. The
okay.
negative,
Are you good?
bugs. Oh my fucking god, the bugs in this game are so bad. So, for example, another reason why I hate the episode 6 one when you get to it, uh, this isn't ruining anything. I'm not gonna explain what happens, but the world will just straight up not load. It will literally, you're like in the middle of a speeder chase and you're fighting, and then the map just isn't loading fast enough, so you'll literally just go off the map and die over and over and over and over and over, and you can't do anything about it until the world loads again. I had to quit the mission, go back in, and it fixed itself a little bit. It also doesn't help that it doesn't give you a reticle to aim, so you're just like shooting and hoping that you hit the speeder in front of you. It is extremely annoying. Like I think actually that is the worst mission of this entire game so far that I played. It is the worst one. Like yeah, the taxi one was bad, but you still had a reticle. You still knew where you were shooting. This one, you won't know. You have no clue. Good luck. It sucks. Um, so, and maybe if I had the option on where it homing shots are on, maybe it's better. But without the homing shots on, yeah, it's insanely hard. It's extremely annoying too. It's the worst mission of this game. So I think that'll conclude most of my negatives.
I
But
do. I
for
have experience. The most bugs that annoy me are when mission objectives fail to trigger. It happened
oh
to me
that too.
3 times on Kashyyyk, where I would get to the top of the tower where I needed to be, and it just wouldn't trigger. I reloaded the game 3 times before it finally was like, oh, okay, this is what you want to do. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm fucking standing in the circle to trigger the stupid mission for me.
Oh, actually, wait. There's a few more negatives. I know I said concluded. I need it's a few more bugs that are really bad. First
Okay.
first thing, and so me and my wife played this co-op. I don't know why I keep saying me and my wife as if you don't know, but I'm saying for the audience, Amy. Um, we've been playing it co-op every so often. Most of the time I've been playing by myself because she gets really tired and bored. So, but she does play it with me occasionally. And when we do play, I've had the game crash on me 7 times. 7 times because for
Jesus.
some reason they just did not fucking like make the co-op work properly because it will work for a good while, and then we'll get to an open world area and Amy will switch a character and the game will just break. It'll just completely shut down. I've also had a few missions where we get to a cutscene and then it just freezes and then it just stops working. I'm like, ugh, like this is really annoying. I've also had a ton, not a ton, but I would say at least 10 or 11 camera issues go on where I'm in a cutscene and the camera will just not go where it needs to be, or I'll get on an animal and it will just completely freak out the camera. It'll just be all wonky and weird.
All
And
right,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
what's going on?
not
I
gonna
also
lie.
had an issue where I went to Coruscant and I went to the downtown area, and it's the only area in the entire game I've had this, and the resolution drops to like 900p, and I was like running around the city, and at first it was like 4K and it was looking really good, and I started running around the city and it started to drop frames, and I guess the dynamic I don't know if there is a I don't know if it's either depth of field or it was dynamic resolution, but the game became super blurry. It like dropped down to like 900p. It literally looked stupid blurry, and I'm like, what is going on? I was like, this is really weird. And I know I'm saying all these like this happens all the, it really doesn't happen that much, but this is within 35 hours I've had this many issues. So it is a problem. They did come out with an update not long ago that did fix a good portion of that stuff, but I have been playing since day one. Actually, since midnight release, I've been playing it, and I've had a lot of problems with it. Like, I mean, I've been really enjoying it, though. That is negatives that need to be in the limelight. Like, yeah, you can have little bugs, but there are some big bugs sometimes that really frustrate me, and they kind of make me have to restart the game, or the game will just completely break and then just say, "We're gonna kick you out. It crashed,"
I'm not
and
gonna
it's
lie,
like,
man. It
ugh.
sounds like you picked the wrong console to play this on because it runs pretty good on
Oh,
PS5.
well, again, I also think it's co-op because I mean, how much have you been playing co-op?
One thing I did want to say, I was waiting for you to get done. I think the shift to the new perspective is really great for single player immersion and getting you into the world. I think it absolutely destroys co-op and its viability to play. Not just because of the bugs. Um, you can just not see anything when you boot up
I haven't
co-op.
had that problem actually.
Oh, I
When I was
hate
playing
it.
co-op, it seemed fine for me. It seemed like normal. Like
I
I didn't have
play
any problem.
I play on a 65-inch TV and I thought I was looking at a 13-inch TV. I couldn't see anything in the world. It cuts everything in half. Not even, it cuts anything more than in half. I thought it absolutely destroys co-op, and I don't want to play co-op at all in this game. I can't do it. I can't deal with it. And it's just sad because I usually enjoy playing co-op in Lego games, but the camera's pulled out so much that you can see everything, you can interact with things, you can move around, and it's a smart system that where if one character pulls away, like the camera breaks and then you're on your own, but if you're together, you're on that same axis. And this game with using the split screen in the way that, again, in my opinion, and the way that the camera is now oriented, I want nothing to do with co-op in this game. I think it absolutely destroys it, and it's not a viable way to play, in my opinion.
I don't
That
think it's that bad.
that is honestly
But
my biggest negative with the game. I think it is a huge negative in my opinion. Is I booted up co-op and I was like, oh fuck no, this sucks. Like I can't see anything. I can't explore anything.
hmm,
My biggest negative.
yeah, I don't, that's fair.
I
I
have not
will say
experienced
one
as many
positive
bugs as you
about
have.
co-op. Well, I mean, again, that's through a lot of time in playing the game. So I mean, and it's mostly. I think probably the biggest issue I had was just mostly I think the crashing for some reason, which they've updated that and fixed that. But there was a bad crashing issue where sometimes, like for example, especially with Mandalorian character, if you switch to a Mandalorian character, it always pops up Grogu, and since it's popping up two people, it just struggles. So, um, again, I don't think the camera's super bad, but I would say it does have a very bad issue sometimes with it, like doesn't move fast enough, or it's not in the right angle, and sometimes it clips into things and it kind of gets in the way. I do personally though really enjoy where the camera is now compared to where it used to be. They could probably back it up a little bit, especially when you're aiming down sights in a sense. Uh, they need to update that to where it's not as close. I think they could back it up just a tidbit and it would be better. Not as close. Like I feel like it's like practically almost on your gun sometimes, and it's really frustrating to aim down sights with your gun. But I don't think it's super bad, and I've personally been enjoying it more than I've been not liking it. So I would say it's not really a negative; it's more of a positive. And hopefully, obviously, it'll get updates and it'll get better. But I think it's really good. Um, so let's. I guess we'll get to the positives then. So with the positives for this game, in my opinion, uh, first thing, as I just said, camera is great, combat's great, graphics are great, exploration is great. Um, and I've actually been really, really loving most of the game's stories. I mean, again, I think there's only been 2 missions that really stuck out that I didn't like, and I've been really loving every other mission so far. I think even, like, I just beat episode 7 yesterday, and it was really fun, and it was really cool, and the whole sequence with fighting Kylo and stuff was just really cool, and um, yeah, I mean, I've been really loving that. It's really freaking cool, and I can't wait to beat the rest of it. It's been really, really good so far. Um, again, I don't really think there's much else to say other than yeah, I know it's a late and it has its. I mean, I think again, I guess I should have expected that for the open world sections, but I mean, it's a Star Wars game. They should put some enemies in there to fight, just something like just maybe random events like space. That would be sick. I hope they do add something like that. I'm not sure if they're even gonna do anything like that. People don't even know if they're gonna add any big updates to this game other than just fixing it. Um, but I think honestly, it would make the open world sections a lot better, like a lot better, if they added something to fight in it, like maybe battles, or even cooler, in my opinion, would be like they can add mini boss battles in there. Like they'll add like randomly, like, oh hey, Darth Vader is in that open world area. I mean, who cares if it's lore friendly or not? It would be fun, and I would hope they would do something to add something to fight in the open world. So we'll see, but that would be cool.
Yeah,
But
I was walking around as a battle droid in the Jedi Temple. I was like, well, this is
yeah,
definitely breaking.
yeah, no one fights you. It's
Yeah,
like I
no
was
one
like, okay,
cares.
maybe if I switch to like the Sith or something, would they fight you? Nope, they just do nothing, and that's what's really disappointing about the open worlds. Like they have so many worlds to explore, and they are pretty damn huge, and they're really cool to look at. But I want something to do other than just collect bricks. Like I like collecting the bricks. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. But after a while, I'm like, this is all you're doing. And it's like I don't want to just collect bricks. I want to go fight things. But the only thing you could do that on is like weirdly enough, if you play episode 4, um when you get to the free roam section of Maz Eisley, there are literally stormtroopers literally walking around and doing stuff. But if you're not in episode 4 and you go to the open world and you go to Maz Eisley, they're gone. All of them. I've literally looked every corner of the place, no stormtroopers. It's only when you're playing the episodes and you're in the free roam sections that you'll see those enemies in the open world. And that is so dumb. Like you clearly already had them in there and then you took them out for the open world thing. I don't want to just collect bricks. I want to fight things. I think it's fun, especially when you get to the Mos. I think, in my opinion, that is probably the most fun place I've explored so far. Was getting the Mos Eisley in episode 4 because there was enemies to fight. There were they were literally uh, doing roundabouts and like looking for people and stuff. And it was super cool. And then it even helped the mechanic where if you kill people, you can put their armor on and stuff. Like that's cool. Like that's really like that was a fun open world area to explore and do stuff in. But when you actually go to the open world thing where you go to the galactic thing, you don't get that anymore. That's what kind of sucks. So hopefully that's something they update in the future. I won't hold my breath on that. I hope, I can only hope, but who knows. But I will say though, so far I've been really enjoying it. Clearly, I put 35 hours into it, even running into that crappy mission in episode 6. Um I also think why the episode 2 one is so bad is if I wonder if it's any better now since I've actually upgraded my ship damage. I'm not sure if that's going to be any better that mission now. I am curious whenever I do go back to replay it because I am going to replay this game again because it's still pretty quick, and since I already know everything to do, I could probably get through it quickly again. Um, I am curious to see if it's any better, but I will say episode 6 mission, I don't think no matter what you do, it's not gonna be any better. Um, Hopefully they do something to update that mission because that mission is brutal. Like, it's not fun at all. At first I was like, "Oh, this is super cool," and then it just got really annoying real quick. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've been really liking I think they are really great. They nail most of the jokes. I think they're really funny, very Lego esque, with like always having ice cream and Slurpees and shit. Like that seems to be in every game, and it's really funny. Especially liked in the first episode the whole "I'm Padme" joke. That cracked me up a
Oh yeah,
lot.
and
That killed me.
they keep it going too.
Yeah, I know. I love it,
Yeah.
especially in episode 2. Yeah, that killed
Well,
me.
then he's also in episode 3 too.
Oh, I guess I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. But the boss battles too, I think are like the real big thing to this that I really been enjoying. Every
Yeah,
time I get in the boss battle, like I know they're not super hard,
they're not
but
hard at all.
they
Like,
still like yeah, they're not hard at all. I mean, some of them like they're not hard, but they add a little bit more spice to it,
yeah,
and
they're
it just kind of
cinematic.
it makes you feel like you're more in the moment. Like I don't think
Yeah.
this game is hard in any way or form, other than probably the episode 6 mission. That's just not hard. It's just tedious. But I would say, like they're not hard, but they are really fun. Like I feel like I'm like actually like you're more into it than just going around and blasting things, which I think also the combat system helps a lot with too, especially with lightsaber combat. I've been loving that like so much. I love that you can like actually aim your lightsaber now. I like the force abilities where you can pick up things and aim it, or you could just double tap B and just push them really far. Actually, the Sith abilities are super cool too. I like how you can like do choke holds and stuff like that. Um, I think that's super super cool. Um, I do think this is definitely, if I had to say it, yeah, the best Lego game to ever exist. And I do think it, obviously it is a Lego game by heart, but I do still think it does enough to where I warn it as like one of my favorite Star Wars games I played. One of them, not my favorite, but it is definitely one of my favorites so far. And whenever I actually beat the game and hopefully I could do some capital missions or capital ships to take down. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know if it's random, if it's completely random, or if there's a way you can make it happen. So hopefully, when I beat the game and I get to do it, I'll have a better opinion next week on hopefully taking down a capital ship because I really want to.
Yeah, let's try to. I will try to have a decent amount of it beat the. Maybe not because I am going up to St. Louis for Easter, so because we're gonna produce an actual episode where we just talk about the review for this game. So we will record that. I don't have to have the game beat. I mean, I know the story, so but I will try to. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. It shouldn't take too long to beat. If you
But
have to take it in a week, it's not a big deal. We can wait.
yeah,
It's not that long of a game
it's
at
like
that certain
20.
point.
It's like 20 hours if you just do story
Yeah, if like
stuff.
if you just go to the story, yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't do any of the exploring, it's not too bad.
But I like the exploring.
But oh no, I don't blame you. I'm not saying don't explore. I'm just saying, like,
One
yeah,
more thing I wanted to complain about, and this is just a completionist annoyance. Why do I have to buy rumors for the level challenges? I understand rumors for other things, and I actually quite enjoy the rumor system. Uh, why do I have to buy a quote unquote rumor for the level challenges so I know what they are when I go into them? Like
yeah,
when
I
I go
can
to
see that.
replay a
That's
level for the second time, obviously the first time they don't want you to know what the challenges are, they want you to surprise that. But if I like go to replay that level again, I'm like, all right, let me focus on getting all three of these challenges. I gotta spend 90,000 um credits or fucking Lego knuckles, whatever they're called, to be able to see what all the challenges are. I'm like, well, that's dumb. That's
I don't. Yeah,
stupid.
I agree with that. That is pretty dumb. Especially like it's really dumb when they don't even give you an option to look at like what they are. Like even when you're like, I guess well, you guess you could if you put up the menu and you buy the rumors, but yeah, they need to just make that like a free thing. Like that should just be a thing that you can look up real easily and
Yeah,
just
or
see
maybe
what
like
the challenges are.
yeah, or like on replay. Like, I understand not having it the first time because like you're kind of absorbed in the mission. I normally don't pull up my menu when I'm in the mission, but like
Yeah.
when I go to replay it, I'm like, all right, I know I need this character and this character and this character in free play mode so I can get all the mini kits and all that. And then I'm like, okay, what challenges do I have to focus on doing? So that way I'm less focused on doing the mission and more focused on completing everything. But I can't do that. I have to buy the freaking rumors for it. I'm like, this is dumb. Anyway,
Yeah, I agree with
that's just
that.
more of an annoyance for me as the way I play these games. Because like you do have to go back and play them again if you want to get all the mini kits. Because like you just can't get them sometimes because you're locked into characters in story mode, and you need like a bounty hunter to get some of these mini kits, and you just can't do it. So you have to replay them like if you want to complete it all. But I don't understand why why the challenges are locked behind in-game credits then when you already have to spend a shit ton of in-game credits to unlock characters. It kind of feels like it pushes you a little bit towards a grind, which is a little annoying when the game's, I mean, it's a Lego game. Half the game is just you walking around exploring, you know?
Yeah, and it's all about collecting them coins and unlocking characters.
Yeah.
So
It feels a little dumb that you're going to make me collect more coins just to be able to complete things in a mission.
yeah. Well, you
Anyway,
could always save up to 1 million and buy the 2x stud cheat thing.
that's actually what I'm working on right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I've been upgrading my magnet thing because I think that's always been a good ability, so you don't have to always go like all the way across the map just to grab that coin and grab that coin. I do put the magnet thing on so I can collect as much coins even at a
How many bricks do
distance.
you have, by the way?
Probably the same amount you do actually.
Oh wow, I explore way more than you do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it took me what 12 hours I think to beat episode 1 through 3, and that was with exploration, and then I got to like 4 through 6 at like 20 something hours, and then 20. I think it was like 28 hours, and then I'm at like 35 now, beating the 7 and all that.
Yeah,
And I also like took breaks and just like went to Galactic Free Play and went back to because again I wanted to see how the worlds were without the story thing, and boy was I disappointed. I mean, they look great, they're fun, and I do want to find more side quests because I think those are what make the open world sections fun for me. Is finding those side quests with actual objectives and stuff to do, but they're kind of hard to find sometimes. Like I don't know, like I feel like I'm looking, okay, here's a brick, and then on the occasion you might find someone that like gives you an actual good side quest,
well you
and
could
it's
just
really
go.
fun.
You can just go into your menu and buy a rumor.
Oh
I
no.
don't. I don't really like that system that much. I know I said
Yeah, I don't
earlier.
really.
I like the unlocking the rumors while talking to people. I don't like that you can just go buy a rumor.
Yeah, the
That's
rumors
dumb.
unlocking thing is pretty cool because like there's a few I've unlocked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
cool when
even
you
just like
talk to
talking to
people. Yeah, it's not
like
cool when you go buy it. You know.
one of them that's cool is like I talked to this one guy, and he's like, oh, I heard about someone stealing a taxi, and I'm like, oh, what? And then I just like went around, I talked to more, kept talking about it, and then I went back to Coruscant and figured out more about it. And then like there's a whole like it's not a super long side quest, but it's like mini,
Yeah, I did
and
that
it's
one.
really good.
Yeah, I didn't find the rumor. I just found the mission. But anyway, anything else you want to talk about before we get on here with the recap?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that was our week one impressions for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. We're gonna continue to grind away at it and bring you more impressions next week. And then hopefully the week after that, we will bring you a full-fledged produced review of the game where Logan and I both give our scores of the game and then award the game whatever it gets. I don't know what it's gonna get, but so we're moving on now to the review roundup. So on April 5th, obviously, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC and garnered an 82. MLB The Show 22 came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch and got a 77. On April 7th, Chinatown Detective Agency came out on Xbox One, Switch, and PC, got a 71. Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition came out on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and got a 78. Godfall Unlimited Edition came out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, got a 61. Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter came out on Switch, a re-release from a game that came out in 2016, got a 71.
Jeez.
Slipstream came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch, and got a 74. Forgive Me Father came out on PC and got a 72. And finally, the House of Dead remake came out on Switch and got a 63. What do you think?
Um. Well, I mean, I guess I wasn't really score for the House of Dead remake, but I still think that's a decent score.
It's
I
been
mean, especially for
dropping
the kind of game.
every
Oh, it
time.
has been?
Yeah, it started out at 71, and every time I look at it and more reviews come in, it goes lower and lower. So,
Dang.
yeah, it kind of sucks a little bit.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I watched a little review on it. It looked good still.
I
So
think it's a game,
sometime down the line when it's like really cheap,
yeah, like
I
$5.
might get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's online co-op, isn't there?
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, me and you
Dude,
could play
I
it
actually
together.
looked up how like the controls work too, and they said it works pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, I thought 82. Well, I know you wanted to be a little bit higher because for your fantasy league, I think somewhere in the 80s is a good score for the game. So far, where I'm at, I might be a little lower because it is a Lego game, and like I said, for me, they have a ceiling, a pretty hard ceiling. But I think it's a good score. MLB The Show comes in a little bit under what most of them came at. It seems like most people are saying that it's time to reiterate. It's time to do something different. And then
I feel
yeah.
like they did enough new stuff. I mean, it's not. It still has that Lego-ish thing to it,
Oh, they're
but I
jumping
think
over me.
the way that they do the story missions is almost completely different than how they used to do it. Because when I
Well,
played a
obviously,
couple
yeah.
ones. Like I played Harry Potter and I played the Marvel game, and they were so heavy. Like, yeah, there's puzzles, but like it seemed like every 5 seconds there's a puzzle. There's another puzzle.
Oh
There's another
yeah,
puzzle. Here's
absolutely.
another puzzle. And that's how it all was. Even in the Marvel, why? Like this, and in this game, I played already up to episode 8, and yeah, there's a few puzzles, but nowhere close. Not even even like a like probably would say like I would say 5% of what other Lego games were of literally puzzles. Like there's nothing like that.
Well, I
And
think it
that's
does
why I
a.
kind of like it more
I
because
think
it's
it.
not super puzzle driven compared to the other ones
Yeah.
were.
Well, there's also it is still has plenty. I mean, there's 731 puzzles in the game, but those puzzles are mixed up in a way that it's platforming puzzles, or it's really simple, or it's just you need a certain character. It's enough to keep me engaged without getting me bored. And now the good thing is, if I am bored, I just go do a story mission. The problem is coming in that you were talking about is once the story's done, how long am I going to play this game for after that story's done? Which is why I'm trying to take my time and explore it when I still have that story to go back to if I do get bored of the moment to moment open world gameplay. I'm trying to take it slow enough that I don't like burn myself out, because that's what normally happens with Lego games. I get in, I start playing them, I enjoy everything, and then after 15 or so hours, I'm like, man, it's so boring to play. Like I don't want. There's nothing engaging enough. Like the puzzles aren't hard enough to challenge me. They're just annoying, and there's so many. They're so numerous that it just drives me up a wall. And that's normally when I stop playing Lego games. But this one, I ran into. I was just walking around the Tatooine open area, the Lagland Waste or whatever it's called, and I ran into a essentially Crash Bandicoot style platforming puzzle up this tower, up the side of this tower. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And I really enjoyed that. And I was like, that was cool as hell. It's actually up near the Jabba the Hutt's palace, if you want to
Yeah,
go
yeah, I
look at.
did that
Yeah.
one. That
Yeah,
was
it's like
fun.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I
like
like that.
Crash Bandicoot style. I was like, this is cool.
See, stuff
So,
like that is fun. Like I like doing that
yeah.
to get like the brick, but like some of them are just like really tedious.
Which is why I
Not
say
really
this
fun.
is clear and away the greatest Lego game ever made. Easily,
Yeah.
bar none in my opinion. Again, it is still a Lego game, which to me comes with, a ceiling of something. But we'll talk about that later anyway. So that's all I got on that. You got anything else on the games that came out this week? Oh, real quick. Moss finally got reviewed.
Oh wow.
85. Let's go.
That's
Let's go.
crazy that it took this long to get
It was about a
a
week late.
review. Yeah. But still, hey, that's good. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Super excited. Finally. Only 17 reviews, so clearly, I mean, the first one got 74, or 19 reviews, sorry. So I don't know why people didn't review this one as much, but 85. So got the
Nice.
points. I'm excited. So, hey, you got your first points, 12. Oh, did you hear about Dune?
Yeah, but yeah, I know.
Yeah. See, it's still releasing in early access, but because I counterpicked it, you cannot get any points. So I'm sorry that I fucked you hard on that.
Honestly, I don't think Redfall's coming out this year either. So good luck getting that out of yours as well.
Oh, I
Because I
can't.
don't think it.
There's nothing I can do
I
about
know.
it. I think it's coming out. It was originally released for summer. There's a big enough window that I think they get that game out.
I mean, it's probably gonna be pushed back if anything because I haven't heard crap about it.
Oh, if
And
it's
it's
pushed
already
back,
the
that's
summer.
fine. Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, it's Xbox. They don't usually talk that much about the individual games outside of their conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have like the PlayStation blog that we hear more about this stuff periodically throughout the year and the state of plays and all that. Xbox has like 2 to 3 times a year that they announce stuff, and that's about it.
I'm excited for the next few games to come out. Though. I'm not really like expecting super high scores, but I'm expecting pretty good. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping Switch Sports getting like an 80 something. I hope Evil Dead gets like an 80 something. That'd be sweet.
yeah. If you could just get like
Um,
consistent 80s and all that, you'll be fine. Because like you look at
yeah.
DJ's list and like he's doing okay, but like 3 of his games have scored under 10 points for him. So, and Worthy's out here fucking just killing it. Luckily, he does need to find a replacement for Breath of the Wild, so that's good on
Kind
that.
of if we do a counterpick episode,
No,
kind of just
no,
lock it in for him.
I'm not gonna do that on him. So
Mm,
I'm not gonna do that on him.
I might do it.
I could be a total dick right now if he doesn't.
I kind of want to
No,
because
wait, don't do
he's
it.
got Elden Ring. He's got the beast of the beast. None of us are gonna get that score. Like none of us are gonna get 90 something probably on our games.
You think
That
God of
high at
War
least.
doesn't score a 90? The first one scored a 94.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't think it's a score as high as Elden Ring though.
To 1 point away. The
What
first
is?
one. The first God of War.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, and also I did hear a rumor that there's a whole new gameplay element that Santa Monica put in that they're not talking about. It's to be surprised when you play it. That got me really excited. Get me super excited. Whether that's a whole new weapon or whatever that entails, I don't know. But God, I cannot wait for this game. Please give us some more information. I just want to know. Actually, I don't even want any more information. I just want to know when the game's coming out so I know when I have to take off work.
I just
Anyway,
want to see the game more. That's all I want to see. I just want to see a little bit more. Just one solid gameplay thing where they show off some new things and then a release date.
yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Out this week for the week of April 11th through the 16th. On April 12th, 13 Sentinels. Aegis Rim comes out for Nintendo Switch. And on April 14th, Cat Cafe Manager comes out for Switch and PC. Nobody Saves the World comes out on PS5 and PS4. And Road 96 comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S. That's a slow week.
Yeah, there's not a lot coming out.
Yeah,
But I will say, finally, Road 96 is coming out. Damn, dude. Like, that game was under some shackles, dude. It was only on PC and Nintendo Switch. And it's like, what? Like, I actually tried this Road 96 game. It actually, like, looked really interesting. It's cool because it's like a randomly generated road trip. Like, you go on this road trip and it's all randomly generated and like basically you make choices and do certain things and then it takes you from one point to the other
So it's the
and
Oregon
it was
Trail.
pretty.
It's a modern
Yeah,
day Oregon Trail.
well, it's not like that. It's different.
You
It's
don't.
more story driven
You
and
don't.
it's not about like micromanaging your people. You don't have people, it's just you, and you like go through these story moments and they're all supposed to be like references to old movies and stuff about road trips and things,
Hmm.
and it looked pretty cool. I watched someone play it, and then it only came out on Switch and PC, and I tried it on Switch, and it was dog shit. It was like 20 FPS. It
Huh.
was gross,
I
and I was
might
like,
check this
"Real?"
out then.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm actually really excited for it because like
Huh.
I was like, "Why was it only on Switch and PC for the longest time? Like this is stupid." And so it finally coming out to Xbox and that's really exciting. I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass. I wish that'd be sick. If it comes to Game Pass, I'm definitely downloading and playing it because like I've wanted to play it ever since I've heard about it, but it literally was stuck on just Switch and PC. So yeah, I'm really interested about that one.
All right. And you're gonna play Cat Cafe Manager?
Oh, of course, my favorite game of all time. This is the most hyped game to Cat Cafe Manager.
Hey, Nobody
Woo!
Saves the World though actually is. I've heard a lot about that game. I don't know too much about it, but I know a lot of people were excited about that game to come out. So, and 13 Sentinels came out last year, and I know a lot of people didn't love it. They said the story was absolutely incredible in that game, but like the moment-to-moment gameplay is okay at best. So that's finally coming to
Nobody's.
Switch. So
Oh, nobody saves the world. Okay.
yeah, it's being done by a
Let
pretty
me know.
prominent developer who I can't remember anything about.
I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass, actually. Pretty sure I've seen it on there. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
Drinkbox Juice. Yes, it did come to Game Pass. Yeah.
Sweet.
It's the
I don't know.
first game by Drinkbox to come to Xbox because normally they work with PlayStation. So
Yeah, I'd be excited to try out. I don't know. Looks pretty cool.
oh,
Gives me Castle Crasher vibes.
dude, there is a freaking chemically enhanced wasp flying outside my window, dude. What the hell? That thing is massive. Anyway, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who has been either watching or listening, we just want to take this time and thank you from the bottom of the hearts. Without your support, we could not do what we're trying to do here. But please continue to help us grow by telling everyone you know how awesome we are or how crappy we are. Either way, get the word out there and help us spread the love and joy of the XP podcast. Again, a little update. For those of you that want to listen to just the audio version, it is now available for free on Patreon. My mistake. It'll be free, all the episodes of the XP podcast and the fantasy special moving forward. And then if you want to give us support, you can get the exclusive PlayStation and Xbox shows on there with some support, or just be a part of the conversation. Logan, what do you got?
As always, like every other podcast, I appreciate everyone for. Hope everybody's having a good weekend or a great week or weekday. Uh, and yeah, just appreciate it. And then as always, like our show, make sure to let other people know. So yeah, have a great day.
All right, and I hope everyone has a great week, and we will talk to you all in the next one. See you guys.
See ya.